live. Matt, who are you texting, Matt?
I was looking at fucking news. That was no intro. You just cut the music.
That was the intro. Well, we're fading in. You got to fade in.
That was not a fade.
You fade in.
That was a hard cut.
No, well, what? I can't fade off YouTube videos.
You can just
gradually
turn the music down. That's it. That's all you do. That's a fader button. That's how you fade shit.
Welcome to the internet.
Damn.
It's your boys. My name's Sean. This is Matt. This is the Bored at Home podcast episode, I don't know, 5-ish. I think it's episode 5. Matt got a haircut. He's very proud.
I didn't say that.
You're proud. I could see it in your face. I could see that you're proud.
It's just because my face is different.
We're streaming live on Twitch right now. If you guys are listening on iTunes or on SoundCloud, make sure to check us out every week. That way, if you want to ask us any questions, we could talk about it. You want to talk about your feelings, we can talk about it. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the podcast. Matt, I got a good story for you, man.
What is it?
I've been waiting to tell you. I almost texted you about it yesterday, actually, because it was pretty funny. It's like midnight last night. I was hungry. I had a hunger about me. So I decided I'm going to go to Meijer. I'm going to get a steak for Din, right?
We got you. More steak.
So I was driving to Meijer, and we were driving down kind of like the little service drive into the parking lot of Meijer, and there was a guy in front of me. But the parking lot's like empty because it's midnight. So I cut, instead of like, basically, we were driving this way and then you would turn left to go into the parking lot. I just cut across the parking lot.
Yeah. And
I ended up in front of him. It's not like I sped up. I didn't like rush to get in front of him. I wasn't super close to him. But I ended up in front of him. And so I had to stop at a stop sign right in front of the door. You know, they have those little stop signs in front of the door for people to cross. Yeah. So I was letting this guy cross. And the guy that I cut off, kinda, not even, he fucking gets like real close to me. So I flip him off. Because I don't care. I don't give a fuck, you know? I park, and he parks, like, right across from me. Like, on the other side of the driving part.
Wait, so he's, like, right in front of your car? Like, you guys can see
each other? No, not in front of me. Like, behind me, like, the car drove between us. He parked right there, you know? So, anyway, we get out of the car, and we're both walking the same route to the door. And he's like, a 45-year-old, maybe 50-year-old dude with his wife, white guy. And he didn't say anything to me. He didn't look at me. So I just figured, okay, whatever. He didn't see me flip him off. He didn't care. Whatever. We get to the door. There's 2 doors into the store. His wife starts walking into one of the doors. And he says, hold on, you go ahead, hun. And she doesn't know what he's doing. And I'm walking in the other door. And I like stopped because I didn't want to cut him off. And he stopped and he was like, no, please, go ahead. And I was like, all right, man. And I walked in front of him, and he got real close to me. He was closer than this. He was walking like a foot behind me, like breathing on my neck almost. And I was like, bro, you're being real fucking weird right now. And he was like, what? And we get in the store, and we're at the door, and I'm like, you're being fucking weird. You know you're being really weird by doing this. It's really weird that you're doing that. And he was like, oh, no, I'm just being nice. I'm just letting you go. And his wife was like, honey, what's going on? And he's like, oh, nothing. No, this guy's confused because I'm being nice to him by letting him go. And I was like, hey, man, I laughed. I said, whatever makes you feel better. And when you go to sleep. And he just looked at me. He was so pissed. And I just kept walking. I walked off. He was super passive-aggressive, right? I'm standing at the steaks, and there's chicken right next to the steak. So I'm looking at all the array of meat. And him and his wife, naturally, like, this is like 200 seconds later, they walk up right next to me as they were looking at chicken breasts. He fucking stands right next to me, dude, shoulder to shoulder. And I was like, and I just started laughing. I was like, okay, man. And I just grabbed my steak and walked away. And so, because he was like 50, and he obviously was just being really passive-aggressive, there was no argument we were going to have. He's just like a sad excuse of a man. I just decided, while I was checking out, you know what? I'm going to go out to his car on the way back to my car. And I went out to his car and I just folded his mirrors in. And I got in my car and I came home. I swear to God, dude. I was laughing about it the whole way home because, like, it's so passive-aggressive. It's like the pinnacle of passive-aggressive. But I was just so blown away by what he was doing. Because he didn't say any, like, he wasn't like, hey, motherfucker, why'd you cut me off? He was like, no, please, go. Looking at me with those wild eyes. You know the wild eyes when people just have wild eyes. Like Brad eyes?
It's
Brad eyes.
brat eyes. It's like it's like you're angry, but you almost want to cry too.
Yeah,
because like you think you can fight and you think you can beat the other person up, but like deep down you're really afraid.
Yeah,
and you kind of like you have conflicting emotions, so you just like you don't know what to do, so your body just starts like cry and be angry at the same time.
Well, you know, like he's a father, I imagine. He's got on his car. He had like I know I'm thinking way too. This is the thing I do. Like maybe I'm looking way too much in this guy's life, but I'm trying to figure out him as a person, you know, because he's got to have kids because his wife, well, he has a wife and she looked very matronly, and his car had a bunch of bumper stickers on him, right, like UP stickers and just whatever.
Oh, he's a Youper. He's a Youper.
I don't know. He had a ton. I mean, like, it's an
you
example. He had, like, sports stickers and just every type of bumper sticker possible on
He wants you to know how he lives his life.
Yeah, so I'm trying to piece it together. I'm doing him a service by paying attention to things that he's telegraphing. And, you know, by the fact that he's being really passive-aggressive, he's probably a parent. His kids are probably college level. And he's just, like, hasn't been in a fight in 30 years. And, like, he's just really mad about his life all the time. So, like literally, I didn't do anything to him. And he gets right behind me, you know, in his car.
Yeah.
And that's why I flipped him off. Now, I'm assuming he saw me flip him off.
Yeah.
But, like, honestly, like, it was deserved.
What I don't get is, like, people like that. Like, you're like, you do that to the wrong... you don't fight, Sean. Like, you're not a big fighter.
But I'm confrontational.
You're confrontational. I get
people
that.
Don't fight.
Listen, I've been fighting for a year, and even I don't pick fights. I'm not gonna like.
Yeah.
I don't get why people want to get themselves into situations like that, because let's say that you come across the dude that does want to fight and has been fighting for years, like is good at it. You get your ass kicked, and like in your head, you think you're being like a tough guy, and then you get the shit beat out of you. You do it to the wrong person the wrong day, man. You get fucked up. I don't know what goes through their like people's minds when they do that. Like, you weren't the antagonizer, but you're definitely not gonna like step down to it. So I kind of understand where you're coming from. But to be the antagonizer, what's going through your head? Do you really think that you could just beat the shit out of like most people in the world?
Yeah.
It's like the same dude that probably watches like a UFC fight. He's like sitting there with his fucking Cheetos and like his donuts and beer and being like, yeah, I'd sit there and bang with McGregor. Fucking pussies trying to take him down. It's like, no, you wouldn't. But I think they truly believe that they could probably fight. Like,
I don't know, man. Not everybody. Not this guy. You'd have to see him. People that are
why do it then? Why do it?
There's two types of people. We're talking about different types of people. There's like, if we're talking about like middle-aged men, 40-year-old, 50-year-old men, just the average dude. There's two types of people that don't fight. Mm-hmm. There's the guy that's super passive-aggressive, like the guy that I dealt with, who like would never fight, but he's just like angry, so he does weird passive-aggressive stuff to get around the fact that he's a pussy and he doesn't want to fight.
Okay.
And then there's like the delusional people who did wrestling in high school, so they think they can fight still.
High school wrestlers.
Yeah, high school wrestlers, football players, the athletes, a lot of them. People who had a great high school experience who now are 40 years old, drinking beer, fucking belly, and they think they can fight, but they're not being passive-aggressive. They're saying, oh, I could beat his ass. It's two different types of people.
I think the passive-aggressive dude still thinks he could fight. I think that's why they're passive-aggressive.
In a way, yeah.
Because they're not confident enough to just say, I'll beat your ass, but they kind of like want to see if they can intimidate you into like believing that they are the bigger person.
Yeah, I'm just laughing my ass off at this dude because like he was a foot behind me. It's so weird. And I told him, I was like, you're being real weird.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of laughing the whole time, I'm like, being real fucking weird, dude. And he's like, no, and he touched my shoulder, like just dude, like this, like barely touched me. So I didn't make a big deal of it
because he smacked him in his fucking head.
I think he didn't. Maybe he didn't intend on touching me. But, like, he like, made the motion, and I think he tried to, like, say, go, please, and touch my back.
What is this? Why? What is...
No, you know, like, when you're, like, right in someone's face and you touch their back and you fucking point. Like, that's kind of, like, what he was...
Yeah,
like,
don't fuck me.
Please. And I was like, the fuck, man? Like, this guy... I think with that guy particularly, he doesn't think he can fight. I think he's kind of mad additionally that he knows he can't fight. Like there's something inside of him. He's like, I know, like this dude's 25. He's looking at me. I'm wearing like I look like I don't give a fuck. I'm wearing like that jacket that's paint all over it.
Yeah, paints.
I look like I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm laughing at him. He knows, like, he's like, I can't fight.
Yeah.
And so inside, he's just so fucking angry, and he's with his wife, so he kind of wants to be the tough guy. But his wife is like, what are you doing? Because nothing happened. So she's like, what? Why are you mad?
Yeah, why? Like, nothing happened.
You know.
In his head, he's just like, this cocksucker.
But he just wants, and I don't know if he wants me to say something so that he could give me some knowledge, because he's like 50, so maybe he wants to use the I'm older than you card. You know, show me some respect. But, like, nothing happened.
Ages mean shit.
But, so, when I went out to his car and I folded the mirrors,
Yeah.
I just loved it because he was probably so mad, man. You know, he was probably just, you know? Like, he's probably so mad. I can't even imagine what he felt when he went out, because he probably cooled down while he's in the store.
Yeah.
Man, I can't believe
Probably forgot about it walking
Probably
out.
forgot about it. Then when he walks out and the mirrors are folded, he probably fucking raged. Because he has to unfold them. He has to take his big-ass Ford Explorer mirrors and fold them back.
Oh, that's a Ford Explorer?
Dude. Yeah. You know, they have those collapsible mirrors. But, I just... And the point of it was, like, my passive-aggressive notion was, like, dude... Like, me folding the mirrors is saying, I could have done way worse to you. Like, you're not safe, in a way. Like, your car...
I guess so.
Like, your car, I could have... If you really pissed me off, I could have gone outside and smashed your windows. Like, no, I just folded your little mirrors. So, I want him to understand that he's the loser here. He lost.
I understand. I understand.
You know? I don't know. It's funny.
See, the thing is, like, you're almost in the same boat as him. It's like... Do you really, like, you're doing it to a dude that you don't know? Like, you don't, like that's grounds for, like, fighting. Like, you have to, in your head, at some point, you, like, when you're making this decision to fold the mirrors or to, like, put your hand on somebody, like, in your mind, you have to know that, like, whatever you're doing, it's leading to a fight. Like, so you have to be somewhat comfortable in doing that.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Personally, I don't do it.
Yeah, I know.
I just wouldn't do it.
Well, it's not like I do passive-aggressive things all the time, but this particular situation, it seemed like the best way to deal with him. Because what am I going to do? I'm not going to start cussing him out and, like, getting confrontational with him.
Just don't do anything. Like,
no,
like,
because I don't want him to... Because the thing is, he can't think that he's correct. He can't go home saying, yeah, man, I showed that guy.
But you already showed him up by saying, hey, dude, whatever makes you happy. Like, you were already dumbfounded when he did the shit. So, like...
Yeah, I guess so.
You were clearly already in the right. Like, it didn't matter if you did that or not. Like,
I guess I just thought it was funny.
I think it's funny.
I guess I just thought it was funny.
Personally, I wouldn't have done it. You never know.
Yo, Panda Jams, welcome to the stream. We've got a Twitch viewer. He wanted to get a gun.
Why? A gun for what?
I don't know, to shoot me in the head.
Wait,
it was just a weird. It was just. I don't know. I think he's talking about the guy, but I don't know. The guy was not a tough dude. He looks like he played sports. He looks like he has a son. He was wearing he looked like almost like a football coach kinda, but like not. You know, like he dresses like one. I don't know.
Was he wearing one of those like hoodies that says like convict and that has like a number under it?
No, he was wearing this sweater that's very particularly like a coach sweater. It's like a
windbreaker.
Yeah, it's like a windbreaker, but doesn't have a zipper in the middle.
It's a pullover.
Yeah, it's like a pullover sweater with like the tight wrists, kind of like my jacket, but without like the white accents on that jacket.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
So it's obvious that he's like into sports. You know.
What if he was a wrestling coach?
It's possible.
And then you'd get wrestle fucked.
It's possible.
He'd beat the shit out of you.
Maybe.
That's what I don't want. I just wouldn't want that. I
don't know, man.
Having just sparring, in doing that, like you realize that some dudes just know some shit. Like the guy,
That's true.
Very unassuming kind of dude that goes to Muay Thai, and he is a school teacher. I think he's like a high school teacher. Like, if you saw him on the streets, you just think he's like a dude. Like, you wouldn't think anything. And then I sparred him, and the dude fucking kicked the shit out of me. Fucking, he's just so goddamn long, and he just keeps me at the end of all of his punches. And those are the kind of guys that, like, are out there. There's lots of those guys. Especially with, like, combat sports being as popular as it's getting. You have more people doing this kind of things, and, like, all of these schools are popping up to teach you all these kind of things. I just like there's too many people that know something that I don't want to know. Like even a high school wrestler. Like you look at Cody Garbrandt, the guy that just won the bantamweight title. The dude was a high school wrestler. He was in. He got scholarships to go to Ohio State to wrestle, Division I, and he said, "Fuck that! I'm just gonna become a professional fighter." And that dude is now a bantamweight champion. Now the dude was a high school wrestler. I mean, like there's guys that are real good at high school wrestling. It's not. Yeah, if someone's like, "Hey, bro, we're fucking high school wrestling."
Yeah.
He probably knows some shit. Even if he did it for a couple of years, he's gonna know more shit than you. That's what I'd be afraid of. Like,
I mean, you never know. You never know who can. There's two things when it comes to confrontation. One, you don't know if the guy knows some shit.
No.
Because you could be out of shape. Like, there's a lot of like 50-year-old dudes who are out of shape, but like they used to be a Marine.
Old man strength.
So like they have the ability to fuck you up.
Oh yeah.
Like I've seen like some fat dudes, not like obese, but like like kind of like the old dude has a strong back but like a beer belly, and he used to be a Marine, got a couple tattoos on his arms. He looks like a fucking old piece of shit, but like because he was a Marine for 5 years, he knows how to take you down. Like, and he will do it. And like that last thing you want to do is get taken down. When you're a 20-year-old and you're tough, right? Like you even, and you know how to fight. If you got taken down by an ex-Marine, like kind of like an out-of-shape ex-Marine, you'd feel stupid.
Yeah, you're gonna get
because
fucked
you
up.
never know. And so there's that aspect that people might know how to fight or take people down, and then there's also, depending on where you're at in the context, you don't know if they have a weapon. No. Some people are fucking crazy.
That's another thing.
You never know. They pull out a gun and suddenly the whole thing changes, and you don't know what to say.
I guess it's okay. It's okay if you do that. But you have to understand that in fighting, no matter who you are, even if you know how to fight, all you're doing is making the odds more in your favor. When you're learning how to fight, that's all you do. There's always the chance, no matter how good you are, even if you're Floyd Mayweather, that there's a chance that you could get knocked out. Yeah. There's always a percentage that you could get fucked up. And when you get into a street fight, there's always the chance. There's a stronger possibility in a street fight that you're going to get fucked up. Now, the thing is, are you going to fuck the other dude up more than you? Yeah. Or you're going to get a clean knockout? Like, as long as you know that going in and you're prepared with those consequences that you could be the one getting knocked out, fight. Like, I don't think people should be under the illusion that you're going to go in there, you're not going to get touched, and you're going to beat the other dude up, even if you know some
that's
shit.
Everyone thinks.
Even if you know shit, though, like, there's a strong possibility that some shit could happen. You get punched. Just know that you're going to get punched in the face, more than likely. If you can take a punch, then do it, man. Like, fuck it.
The thing that's awesome about street fighting, that makes street fighting tough, one is because, I mean, if the term street fighting is a really loose definition. I mean, if you're fighting literally, like, outside on the sidewalk, for instance, it's tougher because there's literally concrete on the ground. So if you hit the ground, you're going to be in pain.
Yeah, fuck you up.
But the thing about, if it's like a real street fight and like there's really like no rules, like when you get in a fight where it's me or you, you never know when the other guy, like if you fuck the other dude up a little bit, you never know if he's gonna pick up like a brick or a makeshift weapon and like try to kill you because he doesn't want to lose. Because like when you're street fighting, it's really like this guy might kill me, so I kind of have to kill him first. It's like really what it is. Because when you're in like a professional setting, it's like, okay, I can just lose. But like when you're really fighting, it's like, okay, I have to hurt him before he hurts me. So it becomes desperation.
Yeah.
Unless you know the guy.
That's what sparring is, though. Sparring is literally just an agreement that if you, like in jiu-jitsu, when you tap, that's an agreement that you just died. Like, you just go through these scenarios over and over again, and you get more comfortable being in those. It's funny because, like, you have these dudes, and you can see in YouTube videos that they do this. Right before the fight happens, it'll be like street fight rules only, and you're like, wait, what the fuck does that mean? Street fight rules only? Like, what are you talking about? It's a street fight. Like, they're like, no, man, no, none of that martial arts shit. Just fighting. We just fight. It's like, what are you just gonna throw hands? Like, that's it? Like, no. I watched a video of a dude. He knew jiu-jitsu. Literally, just took him down, mounted him, and then just started fucking ground and pound. And like his boys were like backing the crowd up.
Yeah.
Because like two dudes were fighting, and the guy on the bottom that's getting punched, he's just like, get off! Like that's all he could do. He just kept yelling, get off of me. And the dude, like you literally can't do anything. It's like street fight rules.
It's crazy with fighting. If we're talking street fight, like if we get rid of the professional stuff, when it really comes down to fighting, it's crazy how just a little bit of knowledge gives you the total edge. Because I know we see fights all the time on YouTube and stuff, Facebook, whatever. I saw a fight where this kid was maybe 15, real skinny little kid. And this older dude's like maybe 30-year-old, fucking kind of in shape, maybe used to be in the army type dude, was talking hella shit. It's like they were neighbors or something, and I don't know. There's no context to the fight. I don't know if this kid was just being an asshole outside and maybe making noise, whatever. The guy comes out, is like, I'm gonna fuck you up, and they get in a fight. And the kid's like, no, dude, like you don't understand. Like I know, fucking. He didn't say jiu-jitsu. I don't know. I think he said jiu-jitsu. The point is, he took him down. So he was like, no, like, you don't want to fight me, bro. Like, I will fuck you up. And he's like, look at your skinny ass. I'll fuck you up. And his friends were like, dude, you don't want to do it. And the guy was just talking hella shit. And so, of course, as soon as they start fighting, like, the guy throws just some wild punch. And the kid grabs him, takes him, flips him down on the ground, and just, like, makes him submit. And, like, it just looks insane because this kid's way smaller than him. Like, half his size.
Yeah. And,
like, the guy's, like, tapping, like, let me up. And he fucking, like, the kid, like, hit his head on the ground. He's bleeding. And the big guy's bleeding. So the kid lets him up. And everybody, all the group of people, all is kind of like, well, he won, right? Like, he obviously won. And the guy gets up, like, yeah, you done? The guy that lost says, you done? And the kid's like, fuck you, bitch. And it's just, like, that little bit of knowledge that this kid has, even though he's a skinny-ass shit talker, he destroyed the older guy that thought he was a shoo-in. It's just like a little bit of knowledge, you'll win a fight almost every time. It's against somebody that has no knowledge.
Yeah, that's... I advocate that. Everybody should know something.
Twitch chat says go for the eyes.
Dog. That's a real thing. People say that. Like, he's probably just trolling, but, like, in actuality... Like, that shit that they tell you, go for the groin, go for the eyes. Yeah, if you can go for the groin, like, fucking squeeze some dude's nuts, he'll let go more than likely. Yeah. If you pop his nut, you could die.
Yeah.
But, good luck trying, like, put it this way. If you're, like, you're talking about life or death situation, you don't know if the guy's going to kill you. If you go to stick your fucking finger in his eye and he has your neck, like, he has you...
He'll snap your neck.
Yeah. He has you in a rear naked choke. You might blind him in that eye, but he's going to kill you.
Yeah.
Because you just fucked him up.
Well, that's what they teach. There's two schools. There's, like, defense teachers, and then there's, like, fighting teachers. So people that fight will teach you how to, like, do techniques and stuff. Defense teachers, they're, like, teaching girls how to not get, raped and stuff, and how to defend yourself.
Yeah.
They'll tell you, like, defense teachers say everything is a go. Like, you use a pen, stab someone in the neck. Like, just make sure that whatever you do, whatever they teach you, make sure it debilitates them so you can get away. Like, for instance, I know Christina was taught if a guy grabs you, right? And it's fucked up that girls have to get taught this, but, like, she's taught if a guy grabs you, kick him in the balls as hard as possible. Wait till you get the opportunity to just fuck him up in the groin.
Yeah.
And then as soon as he lets you go, you run.
Yeah.
Because it's really a gamble you have to make that if you do hurt somebody like that, like you said, if you poke someone in the eye and they have you in a hold, if you can't get away immediately, their reaction is going to be to do more pain to you and more damage to you. So, like, you might think that, okay, I punched this dude in the balls, so he's not going to mess with me, but he might then, like, batter you.
Yeah,
just because he's mad.
More than likely, you're gonna miss. Yeah. Like,
so you have to be
scary.
able to make that it's just like hit and go. Like, but you have to be super effective. Stab someone in the jugular with a pen and go.
If it works, then it's good. The thing is, it might work on people that don't know shit, which is a majority of people in the world.
Yeah.
That it could work on. Like I said, it's all about odds and percentages. Yeah. So, like, there's a percentage that it won't work. If he knows something, if a dude knows anything about striking, he's gonna know distance, and if he's doing it like if he's fighting a dude and you're trying to kick him in the nuts, if he knows striking, is gonna be far enough away where you can't kick him in the nuts. And if you go to step in, most guys fight with their hands down that don't know anything, and if he's looking to kick you in the nuts, he's probably looking down, so he already knows that he's trying to do something.
Yeah.
he's just gonna step out of the way and fucking crack him, and then you're gonna get fucked up because, like, that's. It all comes back to if you don't know shit, you shouldn't be fighting. Like that's.
Well, obviously, the best way to live your life, Matt, is to stay out of fights.
But you should know. I think everybody should know. Like you said, Christina knows something. Everybody should know. It's not about it's fucked up that women should know something. Everybody should know something because the inevitability of getting in a fight is. I mean,
I don't know, man. I haven't been in an actual fight, dude, since I was like 19.
Yeah, since you were 19, but you got in a fight when you're 19. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Like fighting without knowing anything is just reckless, in my opinion.
It's
because
true.
What are the chances of you getting in another fight like for the rest of your life? You think you'll get in one more fight?
Probably.
More than likely. Yeah, you'll get in one more fight. Know something. Like, don't fight unless you don't know something.
Yeah. Twitch chat says that Panda says my friend took those self-defense classes and they saved her life. Well, yeah, that's.
I'm not saying they won't save somebody's life.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Well, that's what you're saying.
If the other person knows more than you, if they know something, it's the odds of that whatever technique, it's probably not going to work as effective.
But I think we're both in agreement that taking, for instance, a self-defense class is a great idea. Mm-hmm. Everybody needs to know a little bit, but when you get into an actual, fight, you never know. You never know what the other dude knows, the other person knows. So.
I should clarify when I'm saying that is that self-defense, in my opinion, is like one of the weaker art forms to learn.
Yeah.
Like you were saying, self-defense, and then you learn how to fight. Learning how to fight is what you should learn. Learning self-defense is only one specific aspect of doing that. Learning how to fight is a more effective way because you know how to be offensive and defensive. Like, when you learn how to fight, you're not just learning how to fuck somebody up. You're learning how to not get fucked up. You're learning how to take a punch. You're learning how to, avoid punches. You're learning how to avoid takedowns. It teaches you a round thing. Well, so self-defense, I don't know. It's better than nothing. It's definitely better than, obviously, it worked. It saved somebody's life. So it's better than knowing absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
But if you're going to pick something that is the most efficient, like learning Muay Thai and Jiu-Jitsu or boxing or kickboxing and Jiu-Jitsu or boxing and wrestling, like having a mixed like that's like the ideal. Like not everybody's
sure.
gonna.
I mean,
not
everybody should be a Jiu-Jitsu master. That's ideal. But you got to think practically.
Jiu-Jitsu, just do Jiu-Jitsu. If you're going to learn one thing, learn Jiu-Jitsu.
Practically, people don't even like going to the gym. So, I mean, there's a whole Darwinism aspect of it of, like, if you don't want to learn how to defend yourself, maybe you should go. But I mean, practically, taking the self-defense class is probably more efficient, more practical than learning, like, a real, like, how to fight. Even taking the same amount of hours, like, because for a regular person who they're not gonna fucking really take to striking and take to all that. You learn a couple self-defense techniques and that's something for the average person. A lot of people don't, and a lot of people live their whole lives without ever getting attacked or being in a fight. So whatever. If you went optimally, we should all be super fit jiu-jitsu masters.
Yeah, but that's optimal. I'm saying ideally. If you were to pick one thing, jiu-jitsu would be the best. It teaches you how to be offensive and defensive. It puts you into realistic situations. Like in self-defense classes, it teaches you what really aggressive people do. I haven't really taken a self-defense class, so I can't say it from experience, but from what people tell me that have taken it, they put you in these crazy situations where what the person's gonna do all of the time. And jiu-jitsu is all about rolling with whatever is happening at the time. It's you're fucked if something happens that is not taught in class. In jiu-jitsu, you're just reacting. It's always reacting to everything. Anything that could happen, you're just reacting to that. Even if you took that once or twice a week, that's better than taking a self-defense class.
That's a lot to ask from people.
It's not that much money, and it's not that hard. It's it's not as difficult as people think. It's only as difficult as you make it.
I mean, you can't even get people to go to the gym, man. That's the problem. Is you can't expect people. The average person, although I'll admit that, we should all know some stuff. The average person doesn't give a fuck, and asking someone to go do something once or twice a week to pay for a class, to learn any martial art, any fighting, techniques. It's too much to ask. It's absolutely too much to ask from the
much to
average
ask.
person. Yeah, dude.
No.
Well, you might as well ask them to take a class
That's
every
just
week
lazy.
to learn how to do music, or take a class every week. Like it's whatever, man. Some people just really don't. Whatever.
It's just that's being lazy. You're
Sure.
just being lazy by saying it's too much. It's
Sure.
not too much. Like you probably spend more time doing absolutely fucking nothing, and that's just an excuse to not do more things.
Sure, we're all lazy, man. Sure.
That's all.
Sure.
Yeah, then that's no excuse. That's not
Sure.
too much.
Well, then listen. Here's what's gonna happen. The people that don't know how to fight are gonna die. Okay, and then all the people that know how to fight are gonna be the ones that breed and evolve and will be stronger. It's fine. It's okay. It's better. It's better that way. People that, you know this. Come on,
It's a
man.
real strong
Think
opinion.
about it.
It's a
Think
real
about
strong
it.
opinion you're making.
Get real deep. Let's get real deep.
Okay.
Okay, the person that is not willing to go take one, self-defense class a week, or one, jiu-jitsu class, etc. a week, the person's not willing to do that because that's too much, or they don't have time.
Yeah.
That person's probably a lazy person, generally, which most people are. I'm lazy in many ways.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of traits are they going to pass on to their children and to their children's children? The lazy ones.
Yeah.
So whatever. People that don't want to learn how to defend themselves will eventually, over the course of the next few thousand years, weed themselves out. Eventually, everyone's going to, generally know how to defend themselves better than they do now. It's Darwinism.
It's on the incline.
It's
like,
evolution.
You can look at the rate of people working out or gym memberships. You can look at it's an increase from what it was like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Like more people are seeing all of this healthy living kind of lifestyle. You see more regular people actually taking like these real martial arts that are effective. You see more people doing it than ever before. So. Yeah. It's good. It's like it's an increase in people.
There's a lot of cultural factors to that too, though. It's not just I don't think, for instance, the gym thing. I don't think that people going to the gym more now than ever before is just it's not a direct relationship with us wanting to be healthier or wanting to be more active. There's a lot of cultural factors. One factor is the fact that we're fatter than ever, so there's more influence there. Mm-hmm. Like, dude, 60% of Americans are obese. That's a huge number, so we're more inclined to like try to make extra effort to go to the gym, which is interesting and ironic because we're still fatter than ever. But like more people are going to the gym for that. Also, media. Everybody is getting famous now for being in shape and for being attractive. Sex sells more than ever with the internet, so people are trying to get more attractive. What else, man? Vegan diets and everything are in now. Like, good dieting is really cool now. That's like a cool mainstream thing to do, is to be a good dieter and work out. There's a lot of social aspects, I think, and also, I mean, the business aspect. There's more gyms than ever. There has to be.
Yeah, and
so I mean, who knows if really the interest has gone up, or if just the, I don't know, like the short-sighted kind of social.
Does it matter though? Like really,
I guess it
like
doesn't
really,
matter.
does it matter the
well,
reasons?
Is it being effective because we're fatter than ever?
Yeah, but there's also more people than ever. So
that's why, again,
and it depends
why
on what are we going off of, because we looked before at like a BMI scale.
Yeah.
Joe Rogan has like 10% body fat. He's considered obese because he's 5'8" and he's over 200 pounds. He's like 220, but he's just fucking jacked.
I'm riding the curve of obese.
Yeah, and so like what amount of those people? What is the scale that they're using to dictate how are those people obese? But back to your original point is that, it could be all social reasons. People just want to look good for like selfie
Everybody
pictures.
wants the Instagram body, man.
So if that's the reason and they're healthier for it, does it doesn't matter. Like
Sure.
they're healthier for it. It shouldn't matter what, even if the reason's stupid as hell. Like
yeah, but dude, but also I just really don't think that people are more interested. Like you're pulling a number saying that more people are going to the gym now than ever, which I believe that number, I believe the statistic, but like you got to look behind it, man, because I think it exaggerates our interest in being healthy. Because also, less people are playing sports than ever. Because everybody's inside on their computers, listening to podcasts, and playing video games on social media all day. So, like, where you lost 1 trillion people or whatever in sports, you gained 1 trillion people at the gym. I mean, who knows that number? It's very complicated.
You could have, when you're losing people to sports, when you're talking about contact sports, which it's funny because fighting is one of them.
Well, any sport, running, everything.
But you have all of this stuff, especially with all of the studies that are coming out now with football, and fighting is a big one. Boxing is a big one. I'm trying to think if there's really any others that have like full contact. Rugby, I guess. I don't think wrestling, but all the CTE that's going on, I think a lot of people are pulling their kids out, especially football. I think a lot of people are pulling their kids out of football. I feel like that's why.
But I don't think that's
English football and soccer is going to be like a dominant sport in America. It sounds silly right now. You could say it's silly as shit. I mean, where we live, we already have a minor league soccer team.
Yeah.
The Detroit City Football Club.
Yeah, you talked about them before.
Yeah. And you see, we're starting to see this surge of like football. I think a lot of it is because I think people are like, they don't want their kids to play football.
They just want their kids to run around.
Yeah, I mean, personally, like if I ever have a child, at one point I thought if I had kids, I would be like, yeah, they can play football. But after seeing like what it does to your brain and like the percentage of men that have brain damage because they played football, dude, it's staggering.
It's very high.
It's staggering.
At very young ages, too.
Yeah, because you put your kid in high school, your brain isn't fully developed yet, and you're taking hits to it. Like, you're getting knocked out, and it's like, in high school football, is that really worth the rest of your life? There's no medical staff on the sideline, really. There's not any insurance that I don't think. It's not like NFL. It's not like even the NFL. I don't think you really get paid if like you get cut from the league. I think you're kind of fucked. I think it's kind of one of the issues. I think that's why people are suing, is because I'm not too familiar with the actual legal.
A lot of pro athletes. It's not just the NFL. Pro athletes, when they're out, they don't get paid.
I know the UFC's like that. That's why they're trying to start the fighters unions, because
I don't care if we're on the light side or the dark side. As long as we get free pizza on Tuesdays,
in competition, there's insurance. So that's like when your fight starts, from the minute you sign the contract to agree to fight to the end of the fight, you're insured. So I think if anything happens in that timeline, or it could just be the fight itself. I'm not sure, but I know it's roughly somewhere in there. You're covered. So if something happens, they'll pay for your insurance. If you're out of competition at any point and you get hurt, that's you. Like, you're not covered. Like, even though you're a contracted UFC fighter, you're not covered, which is weird. It's like,
it is fucked up.
Why is it like that? And that's what the fighters is saying.
Panda Jams, thanks for the follow on Twitch. For anyone listening, thank you guys for listening. Kim Kardashian's the worst influence for young girls. I agree. I think as far as the fighting thing goes, like you said, it's in fighting, it's in football. The part of it, like they make so much money. The part of it is like you got to save most of it.
In football or in
fighting too, and
there's not that much money. That's
okay. Well, they don't make like an insane amount of money.
You know what?
But, like,
an average
fighters,
fighter makes like $20,000. An average football player makes under $1 million.
Yeah. Well, yeah, like an average lineman.
And it's only for like average length of an NFL player is 2 years, 2 or 3 years, and they're out of the league. So you make like maybe a couple $100,000.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's the thing about being an athlete. But even top tier athletes, like if we look at the top tier athlete, Conor McGregor, for instance, this dude's made well over $10 million, maybe 20, maybe $30 million total.
He's made somewhere around $50 million.
That's quite a bit.
I think cool because I think he's gotten at least 10 to 12. Dana White said over 10
for the last fight.
For the last fight, so I think he's made around 10 to 12.
We'll say 20 million. We'll say 20 million after taxes and everything.
30.
Just use the number.
Okay.
I don't know how much he made. No one knows.
No one knows.
The point is, if you've made $20 million 1 year, essentially, your job as an athlete, who like your career's only got a couple years left. You're not going to be doing this till you're 70. You're going to have like 50 years of your life maybe where you don't have a job. Save that shit. Like, that's your job, is to save it. And you see it happen a lot where people like Conor McGregor, and I'm not saying Conor McGregor's not going to have money well into his older age, because I imagine him going on to do other stuff and making other business deals post-fight career.
Yeah.
But like, if you're an athlete who after your career is done, you don't have a job, you better have fucking saved up like 90% of the money you made so that you can live the rest of your life. Because what happens to athletes a lot, to basketball players especially for some reason.
Yeah.
You get like $1 million contract. You get $20 million 1 year or something. You fucking buy houses and nice cars, and you have like your overhead is really high because you're used to that high income. And nobody saves their money because they know their next paycheck's going to be a couple $1 million. So they're like, well, I just fucking spend it.
You're living paycheck to paycheck.
Paycheck to paycheck, $1 million to $1 million. And so that's what happens. And then like, even if like a lot of people's careers end suddenly, maybe like they don't get the deal they wanted, and like now they're a free agent, they just never get picked up, or by injury or whatever. So a lot of people's careers end before they were ready for them to end, and so their overhead's way higher than what they're pulling in, and they go fucking broke. Mm-hmm. And so like it happens all the time. You see like so many really rich people that you and I look at, and we're like, dude, how the fuck could you possibly go broke? And it's just because they didn't plan ahead. Because everybody thinks, oh, I'm a professional athlete, I've made it for the rest of my life. But like really, like you said, in the NFL, the average athlete, the average player is 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
You better save that fucking money.
It's crazy.
Put it into something.
It's crazy. Just because it's a lot of the time, I think it's because an athlete is living the same way that they lived before, just with more money. Like they have the same financial habits that they did when they were broke as they do now when they're rich. So they do the same thing. Steve Smith said that. Steve Smith went on to say he's going to be financially, he's going to be stable because he's like, I've learned how to save my money. I've learned how to allocate my money. So when I'm retired, I won't need it. And he talks about the dudes like you just described that are buying houses. That a lot of it's like you have to floss out for your fucking teammates or in front of your teammates. So you have like, you have all these like Porsches. Like if your homie comes up with a Porsche, you got to have a newer Porsche. If he's rocking a Rolex, you have to have the better Rollie. Like it's like shit like that, and you're always one upping each other. And like it's kind of like you don't think about it because you do. You're like, oh well, my next paycheck I'll have this money, and you're literally behind. So now you're behind. So you're making payments. And you're like your next check's already spent. Yeah. Which is like the thought of being paycheck to paycheck
with that much money
as a professional athlete is ridiculous.
Well, it's ridiculous to us, but you know everybody.
Hey, do you have it on?
No, it's not. Panda says Mayweather's going to end up homeless at the end of his career. I don't think so. I mean, Mayweather's got a really good team of people that make good business decisions for him. He's a good businessman.
Yeah, he is a business. That's what TMNT is. It's the money team, and he's going to promote. He has fighters that make him money. So like
he won't go broke.
But I mean, what I heard from Colin Cowherd, it was ESPN Colin Cowherd. They were talking. Dana White and Colin were talking about Floyd Mayweather and the fact that he flies his baggage privately. Like he flies in a private plane.
I watched that interview.
Yeah, so I mean maybe
he's rolling through money.
He's burning money real quick. That's why they're saying that this fight is the one that makes the most sense, is because it's the fight that would make him the most. Floyd would make the most money probably fighting Conor, and it'd be the easier fight than having to fight Pacquiao again. Yeah. Pacquiao's a harder fight, but Mayweather could from a business standpoint, it's probably the best route to go.
But did you see I didn't mean to cut you off, but Mayweather is. I watched this really fucking weird interview. It had Mayweather and Soulja Boy in it because Mayweather is promoting Soulja Boy for that Chris Brown / Soulja Boy fight.
Woo!
So I really been reading into it, and he's dead serious.
Soulja Boy or Floyd?
Floyd. Soulja Boy seems serious, but I think it's mostly for him and Chris. I think it's mostly a gimmick. I found out what it's all about, but they had this whole interview, and Mayweather was like at the head of the table, and like they had like whatever, some blogger for some newspaper, and then Soulja Boy, and they were asking Soulja Boy why the fight happened, and then Floyd was like almost like a lawyer. He was like, "No, I'm the promoter of this fight." he's taking it real seriously, and he's trying to pick between Las Vegas and L.A. For the fight. Soulja Boy wants it in L.A. because that's where he's from or whatever. So they're probably having it in L.A. But the point is, it's like he can make a lot of money. I think he's trying to make a lot of money off that fight and shit like that. So even after his fighting career is over, I don't think he's going to lose. I mean, he's going to lose money, but he's not going to go broke.
He's not going to go broke. 100 million a fight, though.
He's not going to go broke.
That's a funny. I saw a workout compilation of Soulja Boy. And like, his boys like, dog, you a savage who works out in their socks.
Yeah.
You a savage.
Well, that's funny because
calm down.
They talked about that in this interview. So it was a weird video, man, because it was like an interview. It was like 10 minutes long, and they brought up that compilation, that workout compilation. Soulja was like, "Oh, that wasn't even really working out. That was just like that was like some pre shit. I actually started working out today. Like we haven't even started working out. It was me getting ready to work out. Because he knew it looked ridiculous. But he's real serious. So apparently, I don't know how much you care, but it's kind of interesting why they're in a fight. Essentially, Soulja Boy, like months and months and months ago, put a bunch of hearts on Chris Brown's baby mama's Instagram picture.
Okay.
Who they're not with. Like, Chris Brown's not with her anymore. They had a kid last year or whatever. So Soulja Boy went on her picture months and months ago putting hearts. Chris Brown said some shit to him. Chris Brown called him. This is all Soulja Boy's story.
Okay.
But because Floyd was there and the press was there, I think it's probably... He seemed like he was being really honest. He was like, Chris fucking called me and said, "Hey, who the fuck you talking to?" Whatever her name is. And I guess so Chris was mad at Floyd, or at Soulja Boy for talking to his ex-girl. And Soulja Boy was like, "Yo, she don't even fuck with you anymore. Like, I don't even know why you're mad." But they were cool, but so he was just like, "I don't know why you're mad." And like, apparently Chris was like pissed off. And was like, "I want to fuck you up." And Soulja Boy said like, "Well, fucking come at me," basically. And he said so they asked Soulja Boy, they said, "So it's about this fucking girl that's so stupid you put hearts on her picture." And he's like, "Well, really what it's about is Rihanna." And everybody's like, "Wait, what?" And he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Y'all didn't know this?" And he's like putting all these facts out, and he's like date checking. He's like, "This happened." He said that when Chris Brown beat the shit out of Rihanna, he said, "I was on tour with Lil Wayne." This is Soulja Boy talking. Soulja Boy was on tour with Lil Wayne. And he said that literally the day after, like, we woke up and everybody saw that shit on the news and we couldn't believe it. Like, oh man, Chris fucked Rihanna up. And he said that day, Rihanna literally called him and said, "Hey, I heard you have a show with Wayne, like, at wherever, the Barclay or something."
Yeah.
And she was like, "Can I come?" And he said, "Yeah, I got a ticket for you." And so, and he was like, "I'm a young hitter, that's Rihanna. I'm not going to say no, like, that's Rihanna, And so I guess Rihanna came to the show and they hung out after the show in a hotel. And he said he was like, we didn't have sex or anything, but like we hung out. And I think Chris Brown was really pissed about that because like she immediately went to me. And he's like, I think he thinks that I was, fucking Rihanna and she was cheating on him. And that's probably why they got in a fight to begin with, right? So I don't know, this whole love circle with Rihanna and how Rihanna was fucking with Soulja Boy and Soulja Boy was like close to Rihanna. And I think Chris Brown's still mad about that or whatever. So that's what they want to fight about. And everyone's like, oh, who knew fucking Soulja Boy is fucking Rihanna? So anyway, so they want to have a real fight. They're really serious.
Are they going to wear a headset and everything? Like the headgear? I don't know. The fucking, are they going to... Is it like is it celebrity boxing or is it like its own event?
It's a celebrity boxing event. But like...
Then they're going to wear headgear.
It's Floyd's running it though. Like Money Team is like the ones doing all.
I hope they don't have headgear. I hope it's straight up.
Dude, they'll have headgear, man.
If there's headgear, yeah. But the one thing I will say, if you're wearing headgear, it's way easier to get knocked out.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Just not no abrasions, no blood, less blood.
No, yeah. It's like you think it softens a punch a little bit, but like.
The momentum's still there, man.
What knocks you out is not what people. It's not getting punched hard. It's like. It's your head getting whiplash. It's your brain hitting the side of the skull. Yeah. So like if it whips, like if you have a small face, like if your chin's real small, then it's harder to get that torque. Yeah. But like now you put a headset on, or your headgear, and your headgear sticks out to here. Now you have that much more momentum to whip your head around.
I see.
So it's like you have softer punches, sure, but like if you get clipped, it's easier.
Yeah,
it's much easier.
Who do you got in a fight between Chris Brown and Soulja Boy?
I think Chris Brown would win, but we already betted. I bet Soulja Boy would win.
No, dude. I really think Chris Brown will fuck him up. And that's what Joe Rogan said too. Actually, I saw a video.
Yeah,
it was the same series of YouTube videos.
He said he said the
same thing I said.
The reason why I think Soulja Boy could win is because Floyd has more technical
Floyd's
skill.
not training him.
I thought he was.
No,
that was the whole thing.
Let me tell you, Soulja Boy said Floyd's training me. Floyd repeatedly in this particular interview that I was watching, where they're sitting at the table. They kept asking, okay, so you're training Soulja. And he kept saying, I'm the promoter of this fight. Because Floyd's a little dumb. When he talks, he kind of repeats himself. And he's not the brightest. He's a good businessman, not the brightest.
Yeah.
He's been hit a lot. He kept working around the question. He was not saying, yes, I'm training. So he kept saying, I'm promoting this fight. And he kept being very formal and saying, he was weird. He was being too formal. He kept being very formal, saying, almost like my client, you can speak. And Soulja Boy would wait for his permission to speak and shit. It was real weird. It's like he was a lawyer. He never said I'm training Soulja Boy. I think Soulja Boy posted a photo saying, this is my trainer right here, Floyd. And the only reason Floyd says that he hooked up with Soulja is because they know the same people, first off. So they got hooked up because they know the same people. And Floyd's making it out to be, Soulja Boy's getting picked on by some angry dude who is mad that he was talking to his girl. Soulja Boy's saying I don't like bullies, or Floyd's saying I don't like bullies, so he's on Soulja Boy's side. I don't think he's fucking training him. Why do you think that training montage was Soulja Boy by himself with his boys?
Yeah.
I don't think he's really training him. So I don't put Floyd Mayweather's experience into this factor at all. What you got to look at is you got to look at Soulja Boy, who is probably just doing this for fame because like Twitch chat says, Soulja Boy needs to get his fucking shit together. He probably hasn't made any money in a long time.
No, he's probably doing this.
He's ridiculous.
Money. Yeah.
Chris Brown is an angry person. You could see it in his face. He's just an angry motherfucker.
But that could work against his advantage. The worst
true.
The worst thing you can do in a fight is be angry. Which is why most people get into fights. The more calm if Soulja Boy isn't taking it serious, if he takes it, let's say he takes it serious, but then he's goofy as shit when he gets in the ring.
Yeah.
There's a solid chance that he's the most relaxed one, and he could win. I think Chris Brown, if the odds of Chris Brown winning are higher than Soulja Boy's, but I think that's the only thing that Soulja Boy could have going for him is that he'd be least mad, and if Floyd decides to teach him anything, or he has the same people teaching him that Floyd got taught for him, there's more technical ability than what Mike Tyson would be teaching Chris Brown.
Yeah, I don't think either of them are really getting taught by real fighters. To be fair, Soulja Boy seems like he's hanging out with Floyd.
Yeah.
But I don't really think he's training him. I don't know, man. I think what it's going to come down to is who's taking it more seriously. Yeah. Because it seems like to me at this moment, even though Chris was the one apparently that called for the fight, I think Soulja's taking it way more serious.
Yeah. I think Chris might just go in there and try to scrap, and then
and Soulja Boy's really been training as shitty as his training might be because he's just a dude.
Yeah,
I think he's taking it seriously, and just that little bit of seriousness might give him the edge. But I honestly think Chris Brown will fuck him up.
You know what's funny about all of this is that Floyd Mayweather is essentially just a worse version of Chris Brown. Floyd Mayweather's 4-0 against women. It's fucked up. It's fucked up. But he's beat some women up, man. I don't know if you saw Conor McGregor's post.
You think he would be on Chris Brown's side?
Yeah. I don't know if you saw. Do you follow Conor McGregor on Instagram?
No.
All right. So Floyd Mayweather said something about Conor, and then Conor it was after the $100 million, $50 million offer.
Okay.
And Conor just responded with a cartoon picture of him with 3 boxing belts.
I've seen the picture.
And Floyd was knocked out. And it said, the caption of the picture was, "Call me CJ Watson." Yeah. I didn't know what the fuck that meant. And then I was listening to Big Brown Breakdown the other day, and he explained it. CJ Watson is the guy that was hooking up with Floyd's girlfriend. And that's... Apparently, Floyd found out that was happening, and that's why he proceeded to beat his girl up.
Yeah.
And C.J. Watson is like this big ass NBA player. Like, you think he's still in the league right now, and he's just like some fucking like 6'3"
NBA player.
Yeah, you can look him up.
I'll look him up. Oh, that actually, there was something I meant to talk about that I forgot. I skipped over.
So yeah, he's like this just this beast of a dude. Maybe
that's not Chris Watson. This is what I pulled up.
CJ Watson.
I pulled up Chris Watson, the
Chris
great
Watson.
NBA player of North America, dude.
CJ Watson.
CJ Watson.
I don't know.
Got you. I'll look it up.
Did you say Watson?
Watson.
Watson.
Oh wow. Point guard CJ Watson. Well, okay. Oh, for Orlando? Okay, I see. Whatever.
Big dude.
Got it.
Big dude. Could probably pick.
No, he's an NBA player.
He's
tall,
probably like twice the size of Floyd Mayweather. I guess Floyd Mayweather's like 5'8", something like that. Real small dude. And fights at like 155, so he's like smaller than both of us.
Yeah.
Significantly. But I'm like, damn, that's savage, dude. So like, you have Floyd representing a dude that wants to beat a dude up because of the same reasons why. I don't think Conor McGregor wants to beat Floyd up for that reason, but Conor doesn't strike me as the kind of guy that's okay with another dude beating a woman up. Like,
yeah,
he seems like the kind of guy that would, like, if he found out you were hitting a woman, he could say some shit. Like, if they got into a press conference, if he's bringing it up right there, he's gonna say something. He'd be like, "You're a fucking pussy.
Oh yeah,
you're a fucking pussy."
Well, that's something that, like, I wonder.
Fucking beating a woman up.
So hypothetically, if this fight happens, which I really don't think it will.
Okay.
If this fight happened, there's a press conference.
Yeah.
Well, even without the press conference, I think that Jesus Christ, Conor McGregor would out-talk Floyd. I think, of course, yeah. Because I'm trying to think now. Floyd was fighting for like 20 years. I'm only 24, so like, you know, I've only seen like Floyd's last few fights really, and I've seen how he behaves in those scenarios.
Yeah.
And for the most part, he's not a talker. He's a smooth talker, and he's very confident, but he's not a shit talker, really. He's all about the money's there. I'm gonna make the money. I'm gonna win the fight.
Yeah.
So I think Conor McGregor might get under his skin. I think he would. The C.J. Watson joke probably already got under his skin.
That was some deep shit. Like, Conor, that's some shit that, like, you really gotta that's shit you just don't know off the top of your... Like, he was like, all right, I'm gonna find some shit out about him. Man. Like, he went in.
I think Conor would fucking really mess with Floyd.
Yeah.
You know, because Conor, you know, he talks quick and he just doesn't give a fuck. He'll say whatever comes to his mind. Half the time when he says stuff, it sucks, but he just keeps saying it. And, like, it really throws people off.
No, I don't think it sucks. I think it's
super... Come on.
I think it's super fun.
Suck these big Irish balls. You know, like, it kind of sucks. It's not always super, what's the word I'm thinking? It's not smart all the time. But he doesn't stop. He's just relentless with his shit talking. And he'll pull out some shit like, you didn't beat up C.J. Watson. You know, like, he'll say some shit that will just probably get under Floyd's skin. Like, yeah, you know,
making him mad. Yeah, he'd talk about some shit that...
Yeah, you're 49-0. All you fucking fight is bums. All you fucking fight is bums. You're a fucking bum.
You fucking cherry-picked all your fucking fighters.
You know?
You fucking running.
He'll make Floyd look stupid.
Yeah.
First. I don't know who would win in a fight. If Floyd is insistent on it being a boxing match, I think it's more realistic that Conor would take up the boxing match challenge than them doing.
It's the only competitive match that they could have. Yeah. They couldn't be a full mixed martial art match because Floyd would literally get KO'd. He would get KO'd in under a minute.
Absolutely.
Easy. And if he didn't get KO'd, he'd just get choked out.
Yeah.
It's one of the two. In a boxing match, Conor has a chance. I mean, Las Vegas had some staggering odds against Conor where they weren't even given a puncher's chance.
Yeah.
So, I mean, people on the inside don't think so, but it's like I said, man, fighting's all odds. It's literally what's the percentage that you'll get knocked out compared to him. Floyd has a higher percentage of not getting knocked out than Conor.
Yeah.
And I don't think Floyd would knock Conor out. I think Conor's chin's too strong to be knocked out, especially from a 40-year-old boxing a guy that's not even known for knockout power.
Yeah.
So when you look at those two things, I think Conor, although he'd lose, if he somehow by a miracle landed that atomic left that he throws,
I wonder if Conor's faster than the average boxer that Floyd's fought. Because Floyd's whole thing is he's very defensive. He's like a magician. Like you can't hit him. He's super good at watching you and getting away from your punches. He's a defensive fighter.
Yeah.
And I wonder, like, because everybody says in the UFC, which obviously is not about striking mostly. It's mostly about, the mixed martial arts, not just about punching fast. Everyone says across the board, Conor's left hand is insanely fast and very strong. It's hard. It's like, for most UFC fighters, impossible to dodge. You just get hit by it, and you're like,
night.
Where that?
You just got slept, son.
Yeah, and like it's always you get hit once, and you're so shocked that you get hit another time. That's when he rolls you.
Yeah.
So I wonder, in comparison, if Floyd would be able to dodge his punches. I have to imagine yes, because like boxers are all about the striking. They're all about boxing with their hands. So like I have to imagine most boxers are very fast with their punches anyway. More so than the UFC.
Super fast.
Yeah, so I just wonder if Floyd will be able to, or if Conor will be able to use his main power, which is like his left hand strike, to effect. Because if not, then I don't think he could win the boxing match. I don't know.
I mean, that's the thing. It's
but then again,
Floyd's head movement and his movement. There's a reason why he's 49-0, regardless of anything. It's hard to, even if he's fighting dudes that you might not think are the best, like they're top in the world,
yeah,
but they might not be the people that you think are the best in the world.
Yeah,
Floyd's still beating. He still went 49-0. Like
he's still insanely good.
He's fucking awesome,
I know he's good.
And his movement is so good. The thing is, the only weirdness that could happen is that Conor comes from like. He has this kind of like weird open karate style like stance that Floyd's never seen in boxing because he's always used to. So like for the first couple rounds, he would be seeing movement that he has never seen before. He'd be seeing this weird southpaw long where Conor's like he's like on his toes, like jumping back and forth, and like it'd be weird for Floyd to see that, and like I think that'd be the only chance that Conor would have.
But I think Floyd would train for that. I think Floyd understands that.
Everybody tries to train for that.
Yeah.
Nobody there's nobody that fights like Conor. Like
but there's no one that fights in boxing like Floyd. So I think Floyd would be able to understand what's coming at him. For the most part, Conor would be able to pull something out that caught Floyd off guard for sure. Like he'd be like, "Oh shit! Oh yeah, I forgot." Like you could do that. But I think the main factor in Conor striking being effective is that I think Floyd has to underestimate his speed, because Floyd's a little older now, and if anything, he might not expect Conor to be that fast, because maybe Floyd doesn't remember people being fast. Because sure, 10 years ago when Floyd was like, younger and he was in the midst of like boxing power, because really his last like few fights in the last 10 years are mostly just him picking slower people that he knows he can beat. But like when he was really fighting at full speed, it was a long time ago. And maybe he doesn't understand that Conor's like in his prime of speed and power, and like he's younger than him and he's stronger than him.
I mean, I still think that Conor's major underdog. Like it would. Yeah.
I'm still
it's
under. It's interesting, isn't
I'm
it?
under the belief that Conor would have to have a miracle to win. Maybe
really? A miracle?
Maybe everybody's wrong. I mean, like I'm not like who am I? I'm not a fight analyst. I'm not somebody that's been in the sport for like 50 years. I don't know everything. Yeah, I'm just saying from what I gather from everybody else talking, all of the actual analytics, all that kind of stuff, it seems like Conor would need a miracle. It's just
I guess in a boxing match, yeah, like it's really Floyd's game. But man, Conor McGregor's so good. I don't think the fight's going to happen. But what's interesting about it is that you could talk about it for days.
It's like, dude, it would be it would be awesome. I think a lot of people don't.
It's talking like it's kind of like saying like I really wish we could watch Michael Jordan in his prime versus Kobe in his prime. It's like you could talk about it all day. who would be better and why, and what things could happen to make it go the other person's way. It's just a fascinating conversation, and that's what makes it such an intriguing fight. That's why people want it to happen, because it's just, you can just keep talking about it, because you've got a master of one art and a master of the other art, and really, like, there's just
the only thing is it's not quite like that, because it's still the same sport. It's so, there's almost no comparison to it, because you have two guys from two different sports. Yeah, they both throw punches, but one's completely revolves around only striking. The other one has this full round, like, you have to know all these different things, so you can't really be an expert in one specific thing unless you're Damian Maya or something, or Wonderboy Thompson, and you don't really get away with it. Whereas in boxing, you literally only focus on your hands, and you just do that. Like, the only comparison I can think of in sports, even though it still is the same sport, would be like the best college football team versus like maybe like an NFL team or something. Like, that's all I can think of. Like,
I don't think that's equivalent.
Yeah, see, I can't think. I don't know what would, maybe a tennis player versus a baseball player. Like, they play like a match of tennis. Like, see if the baseball player could like. It's weird, because
it would be
you
like,
can never see that. You can never see two top athletes.
It would be like an Olympic swimmer playing a water polo. It's like
I guess, yeah.
It's like if Floyd is Michael Phelps, an incredible swimmer, and you're putting him in, essentially, if you put him in an MMA match, which is essentially a water polo match, where, like, yeah, sure, he's fucking insanely good at the swimming. He's insanely good at it. It's the best at it. But, like, the water polo guy he's facing is like, well, I know how to fucking maneuver and, like, hit this ball in the water. And it's like, well, okay, in a water polo match, the water polo guy, who I don't know any water polo names,
can you hold them
would fuck up Michael Phelps. Michael Phelps would look like an idiot in the water.
Unless he just swam.
But if they were racing, Michael Phelps would fucking blow him out of the water. So it's kind of like that, I think.
Kind of,
more.
Yeah, I guess
that's
so.
the best I can think of. And those are obscure. Those are obscure.
Yeah, it's real hard to say, because we've never seen this before. And this is literally, like, what we're talking about, I haven't heard anybody talk about this yet, but this is why the Gracies started the Ultimate Fighting Championship. This is the reason why. It's because people had these talks. It's like, oh, I know jiu-jitsu. It's the best in the world. And other guys like,
Boxers.
I know boxing. I'm the best in the guy that knows Muay Thai. I know Muay Thai. I'm the best in the world.
They want to put it all together. See who's
the Gracies
best.
are like, we're the best. We'll prove it. We'll put on a championship, and like, there's no weight class. There's nothing. Yeah. And I remember hearing interviews about guys backstage for UFC 1, and guys got freaked out. You saw this guy come out, small dude, or not small dude, but thin guy, probably 6 foot ish.
Yeah,
comes out in his karate uniform, and he's standing there, and then you see his opponent. His opponent's a sumo wrestler, just this big fucking dude. You're sure as shit the sumo wrestler's gonna win. All he has to do is grab him, punch him, he's done. Karate guy proceeds to throw a couple combinations, and then roundhouse kicks the sumo wrestler directly in the mouth, knocks his tooth out, and the crowd goes apeshit.
Yeah.
And then guys backstage like start to hear this, and like they start getting freaked out, because you've never seen this shit before. You have guys that have one boxing glove with his left and then bare hand with his right, and then sure as shit, man. Gracie comes out. Wild. He comes out and just murks everybody. Best in the world. Fucking shows jiu-jitsu is the dominant martial art. If you can't do jiu-jitsu, you get fucked. You have Ken Shamrock?
Yo, this dude's last name is Shamrock?
You know who Ken Shamrock is? Dog, he's the only one to have
shitty name.
To have gone a little bit of the distance against Gracie, and I think it was like 3 minutes. Like, they went 3 minutes, and it was like the longest anybody had ever went, because he was like an Olympic wrestler. So he kind of like
ground game.
Yeah, he had a ground game, but he didn't know submissions, so he didn't know. They just had a rematch. They had Shamrock Gracie 3 and Bellator. They're both like fucking 50 years old.
Yeah.
Ken Shamrock still looks jacked. I think he tested positive for PEDs. Go fucking figure.
Yeah.
But
well, like you said, you want everybody to do all that shit.
But I mean, if you go look, yeah, I mean, it would be sweet. But but I mean, like, it was a pretty crazy time in the early days of UFC. No rules, nothing. Like, you could grab nuts. Like, they were talking about this the other day. I forget what podcast it was where some dude went up into his shorts and grabbed his nuts because he was getting choked.
Oh man!
And just fucking squeezed the shit out of his nuts until he let go, like fucking just to nothing.
Not his jewels, man.
Dog. Oh. Imagine feeling a dude's hand up your fucking shit.
Pause.
And it just squeezing as hard as possible.
I'm getting too excited about this.
It's like, you know when you get that feel, like you know what it feels like when you see someone's ankle get slit in a horror movie, and you're just like,
dude, yeah. I can't imagine, man. My gym teacher, did I tell you? I think I might have told you this story. My gym teacher, now he might have been lying, but he didn't seem like the lying type, you know? He had this whole story when he was in gym, because when you're in gym, you go shower afterwards.
Okay.
I don't know. I never really did, but anyway, these guys were whipping each other with a towel, which is really gay. I don't know why that's a thing in the locker room. That's so. It's like the people that are trying to be so heterosexual all the time and like hate on gays. They're like the ones whipping each other with towels and like laughing.
In buttholes and stuff.
Yeah. Anyway, that's not here nor there. The point of the story is somebody was whipping this dude with a towel, and the gym teacher got pissed. Mr. Garlow, he was like, "Stop doing that shit."
I don't know where I like this story going.
And we were all like, everyone's laughing. They're all laughing, and he's like, "No, let me tell you a fucking story." Okay. He said fucking. He was cool. He was pretty cool. He made us all sit down. It was like time to go. He was like, "You're gonna be late to class. I want you all to sit down." It was very like maniacal. It was very like he slowly walked up and down past us and like told this long story. Basically, when he was in high school, these kids were flipping each other with a towel, and there was broken glass on the ground because someone had dropped something, and so there was glass in the towel, and somebody went behind this kid and like whipped him underneath and like smacked his balls, and it cut his ball. It cut it open, dude. It cut his scrotum. And his ball fell out.
That's so
and it was dangling down by his knees. And he said the kid had to get rushed to the hospital, and everybody stopped fucking around after that for the rest of the year.
See, that's like I don't like that, man. Like you can slightly feel that happening.
Yeah.
Like guys understand how bad it hurts when you just get like a flick.
Yeah.
Like you just get flicked in the nuts, just enough finger to nut ratio.
Yeah.
Oh, your stomach hurts.
I read a fact that, again, it was on the internet. Could have been a fake fact, but it's supposedly there's a pain scale in the human body, and it's measured by ohms, OHM.
Yeah.
And everybody basically concedes that like the greatest pain you can feel is birth, then stuff that kills you, like I don't know, getting your head chopped off, I guess. But
yeah, that would suck.
Anyway, they said that apparently getting hit in the balls like with a full like an average punch, like a full force punch, just square in the balls, hurts more than giving birth.
Ew.
So that's why I try to tell girls, like as a guy, you try to tell girls because girls think it's funny. Oh, you get hit in the balls, and you try to tell them like you don't have any fucking idea. It's not just my balls. Like when you get hit in the balls, it's a full body experience.
Yeah.
Like you have to crouch because you want to die, and you just like I just lay down, dude. You know.
Feel like you need to throw. Like you can literally feel it like in your the top part of your stomach.
Your whole stomach.
You feel kind of like queasy, like you need to throw up a little bit.
Yeah.
And like you don't want to walk because just move anything that moves your nuts just hurts
for like 5 minutes. It's just excruciating. Don't talk to me.
Walking around, dude.
Hyper irritated.
Awful.
It's the worst. It's the worst thing. This girl got suspended one time. In second grade, this girl kicked me in the balls. Cause I don't know, when you're 7, 8 years old, who cares, right? This girl kicked me in the balls, and I was in pain, right? I remember the pain. I remember where I was standing and the teacher that I was talking to when I was like on the ground.
Yeah.
And like, so she kicked me in the balls. She got in trouble. She got sent home or whatever. And then she had to come back the next day and have she had a written apology that her parents made her write or whatever. And I was over it, right? I was 7. Who cares? But I was like, one day later in that week, I just went up to her, like, and we're 7, dude. I walked up to her in recess, and this was both in recess, and I just punched her in the stomach. She started asking me something, and I just fucking hit her right. I just fucking uppercut her in the stomach.
Why?
She hit me in the balls. And the thing is, girls have no idea how much it hurts.
I mean, it's kind of like.
And I was 7, and it was the first time I realized she has no idea. Like, she doesn't have balls. I'm like, this hurts so much. So I just fucking punched her, and she started crying. Her name was Anisha Anderson. I ran into her a couple years ago, and I don't know if she remembers.
She punched you in the stomach? Get back at you?
No, but she turned into a total asshole. So I punched her. She cried. I got in trouble. We both got sent home.
Fucking as bad as Chris Brown and Floyd.
I got in a lot of trouble at home too. Like, I got shit taken away from me or whatever.
Yeah, you deserve to.
So anyway, it's funny because we were the same age and we grew up in the same school system in Ferndale. So
yep.
When it came to like high school, I remember she turned into a total asshole. Right? She was like kind of a bully. She was like a fatter black chick. She was very rude to everyone.
Okay.
But she was never rude to me. She never ever said anything to me.
Well,
yeah, and like she had opportunities to, like she was a total asshole, but she would never fuck with me. And I think it's because she remembers that I punched her in the stomach so hard, she wanted to die. That's how I imagine it. Of course, I was 7, so it probably was nothing.
You probably fucking traumatized her for life. She's probably
so
like
nice
afraid of men because you hit her.
And then like I saw her a couple years ago at the store or whatever in Ferndale, and she like we saw each other, and like, she kind of like smiled a little bit like as like a hi. And so she just never fucked with me. And I think it's because I straight up punched her in the stomach.
Yeah.
But to be fair, she deserved it. She kicked me in the balls so hard, dude.
I mean, you're lucky you were children, so, I mean, it's like...
Yeah, if I was an adult, I'd be in trouble.
It's still kind of... I mean, it's not kind of... It's still bad that you punched a woman, but, like... She was a child.
Well, she had a kid at 17,
you punched a girl,
so she kind of ended up deserving it.
Goddamn, Sean.
I fucked her up.
You're like Mike Tyson. You Mike Tyson.
It was like one of my first experiences. It was one of my first experiences in equality. I was 7, and I was very cognitive as a kid. I was smarter as a kid than I am now. I was very deep thinking about stuff, and I remember thinking like I shouldn't punch her because she's a girl. Everybody knows she's a girl. You don't punch her.
Yeah.
And I just remember thinking, she fucking deserves it. And I was like, I don't care if she's a girl. First off, she was bigger than everybody. So like, yeah, she's a girl, but she's like the big bully girl. She deserves to get fucked up. And I didn't say that. I was 7. In my head, I was like, she deserves to get hurt, whatever.
Yeah.
So I just laid into her, man. And I remember thinking, like, at first I was shocked because I couldn't believe I did so much damage to somebody. Because I don't think I'd ever hit anyone really before. I was 7. But I afterwards thinking about it, because I got in trouble, obviously. I went home and, like, my parents made me think about it. Whatever.
Yeah.
Think about what you did,
Yeah.
and I thought about it, and I was like, fuck yeah. I didn't feel bad. She deserved it, man. And then for the rest of our lives, she never said anything to me. Obviously, after a year, she probably forgot mostly. Like, didn't really matter. But I was like, we're equal. She can't just kick me in the balls. She doesn't have balls. You shouldn't be allowed to kick someone in the balls if you don't have balls.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna punch her in the fucking stomach.
That was the one thing. I mean, I don't condone hitting women. I'll just say that.
Yeah, I don't either. It's not.
Well,
I don't.
you did.
Okay, I don't.
You did.
I don't
though.
hit women. I was a small boy who hit a small girl. It's like whatever. It happens.
You're
all
both
the time.
young. You were in like first or second grade, like first grade, second grade.
Yeah, I moved here in second grade. I fucked her
up.
I
mean, okay. Regardless of that, the one thing I do wish every time I got hit in the nuts by a chick.
Every time.
It only happened a couple times, but like each time I didn't hit them, but I did wish in my head that they had nuts for like a day, and I just
so you could just retaliate and hit them.
I just wish women had nuts, or just the specific ones that hit me. Just they had nuts for a day, just to see what like.
Just so they know.
That was in my head. I'd like that. I never thought.
That's something that they don't know. But also, if you've ever punched a girl in the boob, apparently that really, really hurts too.
No, never punched a girl in the boob.
Never
punched a girl, Sean. I don't know what that feeling is.
I've never punched a girl.
I don't plan on punching a girl in the boob.
As a cognitive, not 7-year-old, I've never really hit a girl hard. I can't even play hit. Like with Christina, we've been together almost 3 years. I can't even I can't fake hit her. I remember when we first got together, she does the thing that a lot of girls do, like, come on, just hit me in the shoulder.
No, fuck that.
And I say no, like I can't do it. I cannot.
It's
fucked up too, because I acknowledge equality, and I always say in arguments, I say if a girl's talking shit, fuck her up in the same way you would fuck up a dude.
No.
Dude, yes, absolutely. On paper, absolutely. The problem is that I've been raised correctly. So like I'm trained to like not want to hit women because as much as people don't want to admit it, women on average are less strong and smaller, and you will hurt them more than you hurt a dude.
Yeah.
You know,
if you can't take a punch by someone weaker than you, like, I think that's the one thing that, like, when you learn, like, discipline in a martial art is that how easy it is to, like, hurt other people, and you just have a more respect for, like, violence, and you just, regardless if it's a woman or a man, you realize how lopsided it could be, especially if it's a woman.
Yeah.
And it's not even like you don't even need to think about it, like you shouldn't. Like, for dudes out there that hit women, like, it's fucked up because, like, it's so lopsided. It's more lopsided than Conor McGregor fighting Floyd Mayweather. It's fucked up.
It's insane. You're
like,
not gonna win.
The fact that, like, a dude would even do that, it's fucked up.
I mean, there's a lot of abuse issues, obviously, but I to play devil's advocate, man, like, okay, first off, I don't condone senseless violence.
You're about to be an apologist, Sean.
No.
Better,
I'm not. No, listen.
Choose your. It's like we talked 300, no, man. Choose your words wisely.
I'm going to choose my words wisely. This is something I've been thinking about. This is something I've been thinking about for years. And right, you talked about on this podcast. We need to be honest as fuck all the time.
Hey.
I do not condone senseless violence, right? Like, a lot of men that beat their wives and shit, it's totally senseless. It's like she didn't clean the laundry, so I fucking smack her around. It's totally ridiculous. I do not condone that. I don't. Okay, and I don't hit women at all. However, on, like, theoretically and on paper, if women want so bad to be equal to men, like, there's huge feminist movements where they even try to pretend like they are just men, and everybody just wants to be equal and be the same thing, and everybody ignores the fact that we are just different. That's just the way it is. We are physically different on average. It just is the way it is. If you want to be that person that fights for equality, but then you get into, like, a situation where you're getting in a fight with a man, you don't get the benefit of being a woman. You don't. Like, for instance, if you're in a bar, if you're in a bar, my argument is that if you're in a bar and a woman, if a man says to you in a bar, you're a bitch, what would you do? You would be confrontational. It would probably lead to a fight. Let's say he pushed you and said you're a bitch. What would you do? You push him back, maybe you'd hit him.
What size is this dude? Because, like,
he's a tough asshole. He's trying to get in a fight. It's the point. Listen, you would fight a dude that was trying to fight you in a bar. If a guy's talking shit and starting shit, as reserved as you are, you would fight him. You would be okay with hitting him. If you're at the same bar, the same scenario, the same amount of animosity, and it's a woman saying you're a bitch, pushing you and, like, hitting you, I'm like, okay, you're liable to get hit. Do you understand? Like, you can't.
No, because it's
Absolutely,
not even a thought.
If you're doing the same
it doesn't.
thing,
it's like it's you're saying, like, I have to, like, it's not even like it registers, like, it's not there. It's just like she's just saying things.
Yeah,
like,
no,
she's not gonna do anything. And
she
even
hits
if she
you
tries,
in the face.
She tries to hit, like, what?
No.
It's like hitting
if a dude hits you in the face, you fuck him up.
If a child hits me in the face, I'm not gonna fuck them.
So you're,
like,
you're
if a 12-year-old little boy hits me in the what am I gonna do? I could beat the shit out of him. Yeah, I could.
Yeah, you don't fight children
but
because it's obviously imbalanced.
Yeah, so
which is the same reason why you don't fight a woman.
Exactly.
Because it's obviously imbalanced.
Genetically,
good. It's good that you say that,
yeah.
because what you're doing is you're acknowledging there's a distinct difference between an average man and an average woman.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's scenarios where, like, somebody like Cyborg would fuck you up. Somebody like Ronda Rousey would fuck you up. But
I got no chance against
the average person, you're acknowledging that they're not physically equal. We are not equal.
We're not
in that way.
Genetically, no.
So
we're different.
That's the problem. Is that if you're a woman who is saying we are equal, then you're not allowed to be so confrontational and not expect to get hit. Because the thing is like, they play the best of both. Like, it's kind of like religious people. Like, you play the best of both. They're saying like, I'm equal to you, so they start talking shit. But if you hit them, then suddenly it's, why would you hit a woman? You know what I'm saying? So it's just this this double standard that has to get erased from human culture. It needs to. You need to either acknowledge that you are different in some ways from a man.
Yeah.
Or you need to get fucked up.
I mean,
like
they
a man.
are. I mean, women and men are different.
So,
like genetically,
yes,
we're different.
obviously.
We're genetically disposed.
I don't have a vagina. Okay, I'm a man.
Average
men are larger, stronger.
I mean,
average woman's smarter.
Part of the reason. I mean, like we're talking about nuts earlier. I mean, like we produce more testosterone. I mean, that's our distinct advantage with muscle, and
it's okay.
We're stronger.
It's okay to be different, man.
I know.
So that's always been my thing, and I remember talking about this because I saw it. It was like I don't know, it was on the news, right? And this was years ago, but it was some girl who said, you know, this guy hit me in a bar. She was pressing charges on this guy that hit her in the bar.
Okay.
And like literally that storyline I just gave you is exactly what happened. Like apparently like the bartender and everybody, the witnesses at the bar were on the news saying like, yeah, she was being insane. She was hitting this dude in the back of the head, calling him a pussy, and he turned around and hit her once, just knocked her on the ground, one punch.
Yeah.
And like, but he did not aggress. He was not the aggressor. She was. And so there's this big argument of like, well, did he do the right thing or wrong thing by hitting her? Because everybody's saying like, dude, she was fucking hitting him. And he's just out with his boys at the bar and she was drunk and she was being stupid and hitting him. All he did was hit her once and she's pressing charges. That guy went to jail, dude. And it's like, okay, so where's the equality here, man? That's the whole idea. I saw that and I remember being so upset because that dude, now I'm not saying that guy's a saint. And I'm not saying she's a total bitch. She was a little drunk. Maybe he hit her too hard, but it's like it's if you're being the aggressor, you don't deserve to be saved. Like if you start the shit and you're hitting someone in the head, you deserve to get knocked out to the best of that person's ability.
I mean, just don't be a dick. Like,
of course, don't be a dick.
Like, don't be that person that hits people and like it all comes back to what we were talking about before. Like, I would never do it, but like, if you decide to start fighting somebody, you have to acknowledge that at some point you might get fucked up.
Yeah.
You might. If you start punching somebody, regardless if you're a dude or a woman, if a woman punches a woman, you gotta expect that you might get fucked up. If a dude punches a dude, you might get fucked up. If a woman punches a dude, there's dudes out there that will do that. They're fuckheads. They're shitheads.
Yeah.
They're pieces of shit. But there's guys out there that will do it, so you got to be careful. That's why I say don't fight. Like, there's no reason for you to put hands on another person, really. Like,
yeah, for the most part. I mean, and for the most part, people don't fight.
Don't do it because there are pieces of shit out there that will put their hands on women, and you don't want to be you don't want to put yourself in that situation where you have to file a lawsuit, where cops have to come. And you don't want to do that.
Well,
I don't want to see it.
There's a difference between there's a responsibility of power that men have to understand they have.
And if I saw that, like if I saw a dude like punching a woman, then I'd probably be in a fight. That's like the easiest way to get in a fight. Like, cause then you're just like especially if the dude just like fucking cold cocks or knocks her out.
Yeah,
dude's gonna get fucked up.
Well, the problem with man versus woman fighting is the big thing that happens more than not. Is just the senseless shit, man. The fucking piece of shit guy who punches his girlfriend in the face because it makes him feel good.
Yeah,
that's wrong, dude. Like that's where that's just. But
that's why it's so fucked up.
It's a totally different monster.
It's so fucked up. That's why like Floyd and like Mike Tyson, I guess, like dudes like that they're literally most dudes in the world. Almost every single dude in the world couldn't fight them.
Yeah.
And they punch a woman. It's like there's absolutely.
Oh yeah, I mean it happens all the time.
Just get punched, like you just get punched, like getting punched in the face. It's not. Doesn't
like Adrian.
hurt.
We talked about Adrian Peterson hitting his kid, fucking his kid up. I mean, it happens a lot with very powerful athletes, and famous people, I guess.
Yeah.
And I think maybe the ego is like the Kickstarter for that. For those scenarios, like when you're big and strong and rich and famous, and you're the reason that. Your girlfriend or whatever is like living in this huge house. Like there's an ego there that kind of like ignites your violence. That's totally shit.
I mean, up. There's a reason why you're number one. It's probably because you're super aggressive.
Yeah, you're probably very violent, and and so I don't know, man. I mean, that's a whole world of shit, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. If a girl's hitting me in the back of the head, like technically by the books, I should be able to fucking turn around and punch her. But I don't because I don't know. I was raised correctly, but I don't get mad at people in that scenario. Like for instance, that guy that went to jail. I feel bad for him. You know, because you can't have that double standard of like, oh, I'm equal, but then as soon as you get hit, I'm a woman. It's like, come on, man. You gotta accept the differences from the start. You know.
Yeah.
And because I don't know. And there's always exceptions, of course, but it's fucked, man. Equality's fucked.
It's You know. That's across the board, though. It's
across
like,
the board, yeah.
You could say, I mean, nobody, like, we're all different. Like, yeah, we all want basic equal rights.
Of course. Well, but we have them.
Basic equal things.
We have them. And that was some, like, there's really, when it comes to social justice right now, in terms of, like, social battles that are going on for real, like, political gain, there's really nothing to fight for at the moment. Everybody, basically, on paper is equal. I think the only thing that we still have left to fight for is marriage equality for gay people and lesbians, you know, in some states, but not even, I mean, half the country's already done that. I think that war has been won. I think feminism, that war has been won. I think racial, you know, the racial war has been won. It's just a matter of time for it all to take effect, because the problem is, you know, we might all not be racist. Everybody under 30 years old might be like the most progressive people ever, but we've still got 80-year-olds in power. And once those 80-year-olds die, I think all the social progression that we've done is just going to take place entirely. There's really nothing left to fight for, and that's a big problem with like this double standard of, you know, for instance, with that example of a woman who, you know, started shit with that guy in the bar and then claimed I'm a woman after he hit her. You know, what are you fighting for, man? You have no point to make. Like, we're equal, dude. You know, we're as equal as we can get. Black people are essentially as equal as white people can get, or as two white people as we can all get. You know, there's still stains left on our culture with all these things, but it's already taken place, man. It's happening. The wheels are in motion. We're going down the hill. You can't stop a fucking wheel going down the hill. It's just going. It's going. We're going to be there. So stop. So shut the fuck up and just, like, figure out the next big thing, right? I was thinking about this the other day. It was fucking me up. Because I was listening to, I was thinking about the N-word, right? And I was thinking about rap music and how, like, on the radio it's just, like, you know, nigga, 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 nigga all day. And I really was thinking about it, and I was like, dude, like, you can't, like, we're all so equal already, man. And I was blown away, you know, by all these, I'm always blown away by these people that claim that racism is such a huge problem now. It's not. Racism exists. Racism will always exist. But we should be more proud of, like, the amount of work we've done in the last 50 years as a society, at least in America.
I don't know. Now you're getting some shit that we can't really speak on because we're white. I mean,
but see, that's
like,
the problem.
But
man.
that's not the like, to speak on an issue. I mean, we're not the minority. We don't see the negative aspects of, like, what racism is. Is racism as big of a problem as it was before? Probably not.
Absolutely not.
Probably not. No. But is it still a problem? I mean, it seems like there's a lot of issues that still are about.
There's still residual racism, but again, ask yourself, man. Like, I had to really think about this. Ask yourself, do you know a single person under the age of 30 that's really, like, racist or prejudiced?
Specifically, no.
No,
I don't associate with those.
It's not a problem.
But I think
it's not a problem.
Over the last campaign, you've seen more people come out. Maybe not as racists, but you see some signs of it. You see some people that, I mean, could probably be persuaded.
Okay, 1% of the population under the age of 30.
I don't know.
1% is the number I'm willing to say, because I know a lot of people. You know a lot of people, and if you can't name,
but you don't know that statistic. You don't know 1%,
dude.
That's just a made up statistic. You have.
Just look at the numbers. It's statistics.
Statistics? What numbers?
Look at 100 people that you know. It doesn't have to be your friends that all do the same thing. 100 people that you just know. Anyone you can think of. Think of like 100 people, and is one of them racist? One. Maybe.
Probably.
Maybe there's one racist.
There's probably.
You can't even think of one off the top of your head.
I can't think of 100. I can barely think of 100 people.
The point is, it's not prevalent. There's always going to be racist people. Like, there's always going to be people that want to fuck goats. If there's one person that's racist, racism exists, and it'll always be like that.
Yeah.
Okay, But it's not a problem in the youth anymore. It's not, because we've done a great job of being parents and teaching people like we're all equal, and we have a black president. Rap music's on the radio all day. White and black relations are as good as they can be right now, and below the age of 30. It's good. It's good. It's great. You've got every fucking millennial alive is like the most progressive person you could think of.
So I'm a little confused. What point are you trying to make?
So the point I'm trying to make is that like racism is not, it's not really a battle. Like, it's always a battle to fight because we got to keep it out and keep it away. If we're just talking black versus white racism. But really right now the only racism that even exists is the old fucking money. The old racist people. The old, Donald Trump, he's 70. In 20 years, when all these old fuckers are dead and they're not running the government anymore, dude, racism's not going to be a problem. You've got to look at
like. You can hope, but you can't say matter of fact.
We're talking. You can't say matter of factly anything, man. But what I'm saying is like, it's really not. There's way bigger problems in terms of how much the problem really needs to be dealt with, because we've kind of already dealt with black versus white racism. It still exists because there's still old people doing it, but like the kids aren't. So you got to think in 20 years, like, those kids are going to be our adults. Those kids are going to be the ones in office. Those kids are going to be the ones teaching. It's not, we've done it. We should be more proud of the fact that, like, we've really effectively, within 2 generations of humans, pretty much eradicated racism in the younger people. People below 20, people below 30. Eradicated. Okay? Like, it's not a problem. The average kid doesn't give a shit. The average kid does not. No. They don't. The average kid's confused. What are you talking about? Why are you guys racist? Doesn't make any sense to kids. So I think we've done great there. And, like, I think now, like, what we need to do is move on to other subjects. And I was thinking about this. I don't know. This is a really random thought. I got on this for no fucking reason. But I wanted to talk about it. Because I think people don't understand how far we've come in, like, literally, like, 50 years. Like, 50 years ago, it's not good for black people. Now, the plan's been set in motion. Sure, the average black family, right, they have lower income, but that's residual. The thing is, like, that exists because 50 years ago, they had no money. So I think
I don't care if we're on the light side or the dark side. As long as we get free pizza on Tuesdays,
I'm really not that concerned about racism. Feminism, not concerned about it. We've made it. Okay, there's really nothing more to fight for. What's the next thing, man? What's it gonna be? I think gay rights still have a little bit to go, but with the millennials now, everybody's LGBT, everybody's fucking Foxkin and non-binary. Like, that's a huge movement. I think that's gonna work itself out. That plan's already been set in motion. So what's the next great social problem?
It's a lot of. I feel like we come up with a lot of. Racism is definitely, I still think, a problem, but I think with the other
residual problem,
with the other problems that we have with social justice warriors and all that kind of stuff, is the fact that there are no more problems. There's no big problem that's happening that we need to solve. So we just find all these small issues.
Yeah.
To like grab a hold of.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, that's what you have with all these pronouns and stuff that are going on.
Yeah.
Like, people, I mean, all the smaller issues that happen, I mean, yeah, they're significant. But, I mean, usually we're used to, like, we have, like, bigger things. Like, every era's had its own, huge struggle. You go through the early 1900s, you have the stock market crash. That was a huge fucking problem, and everybody was trying to get behind, trying to figure out how to fix it. Then during the 60s, you had the civil rights movement. That was a fucking...
It's a very important, very big problem.
Yeah, and you have the Vietnam conflict also going on, so you have people getting drafted. So, like, you have all these big problems. You didn't have time to, like, bullshit a bit. Not that it's bullshit, because there's certain people that feel
bullshit.
Objectified, but you didn't have, like, people worrying about all of like whatever they're identified as, because you had like, oh shit,
there's like, real problems.
Yeah,
black people are drinking out of water bowls in the fucking 50s.
Yeah,
there's real problems. Gold Digger, thanks for the follow, by the way. Welcome to the podcast.
Is that a Kanye West fan?
It says the Gold Digger MC, so Kanye West fan, Minecraft fan, one of the two. Probably Minecraft, right? You dig for gold.
I ain't saying shit.
I was thinking, like, it's obvious to me that there's an issue with our generation. We don't have a real problem. Now I think with Donald Trump, maybe we're gonna start having a real problem. Like we might have some real social divide going on. We're basically going into a second Cold War with Russia. It's insane. Before we complete that conversation, did you see that C-SPAN got hacked?
No.
Holy shit.
Yeah,
dude, it's going down, man. So C-SPAN is basically just the news station for the Congress. So when Congress is voting for shit, it's just like that wide-angle shot of like Congress and them doing their thing. C-SPAN was hijacked during I think it was when they were voting for Obamacare or whatever, their initial vote. That fucking entire news station got hacked and was replaced by Russian propaganda.
What was propaganda?
It was like a Russian news station. It was a known propaganda Russian news station where they're talking shit about America. They're talking, whatever. Russian. I don't speak Russian. But that's it, dude. It's going down. There's some shit going down. Like America and Russia are really like going at it. And it's another fucking Cold War. So maybe now this is when our generation is going to develop a real social problem. But at the moment, it's like people complain about little shit, like you said. For instance, if you've got like a famous dude that's like a famous actor walking down the street and he's totally busy doing his own thing, and you walk up to him and you say like, did you hear about that school in the Bronx, the black kids that are getting education, how do you feel? And then like the guy's just like, oh, I'm glad that the blacks are getting education. Like he doesn't think about what he's saying. He's just like in passing. And then people on the internet will pick something like that apart. And this is an example. I don't know, didn't that happen? But, oh, he said the blacks. What does that mean? And everybody gets all up in uproar over very small things that have absolutely no actual meaning or conversation behind them. Yeah. And that's what we're dealing with now is like everyone wants there to be a problem. So we're making problems out of things that don't fucking exist. We're creating genders that just don't exist because we all want to have something to talk about. And I worry what that's gonna do to us, but I don't know, it's just fucked up. I think that maybe we might see something happen, maybe a World War III.
I mean, as long as humans exist, there'll be war. That's one
of
thing.
Course.
That's like a certainty, especially with religion. When you have people that are ideological and they're extremists, you're gonna have war. You're gonna have people fighting over things that they believe is right.
Yeah.
When you have countries, it's like a fucking ego thing. Like each country wants the big dick the other country.
Yeah.
You see that with America a lot. You fucking find out you have oil, you need democracy. That's what we say.
You got oil? Oh, do you have democracy?
Yeah, I saw a sweet ass picture of like this big ass tank, and it was like in the desert or something. And it's like Australia has the biggest oil supply in the world. It's like American flag. Fucking, they need some democracy.
It's like, true. I think it's human nature to want war and to want we're competitive anyway, and we all have egos. So when you have power, the ego is just it's like a group ego thing. But
I mean, you see it in primates, man. You see monkeys fight over territory.
Oh yeah,
like fucking monkeys will kill each other and eat each other
for territory.
They're goddamn savages.
Yeah.
Or gorillas or whatever of the primate family. You see them, they're in their little gangs, which would be like a country. It's just a small country. It's like 80 of them just roll up. The fucking 80 of the other ones roll up, and they fucking fight over the territory to see who gets the goddamn fig tree.
Yeah. Savage. It's just in our brains. It's in primate brains, monkey brains, human brains.
Dog, you see the indigenous tribe they just found?
That's not even new. I saw that picture literally 5 years ago. Just like, relatively.
With a drone? You saw it with
100%, yes.
Really?
Yeah, I remember seeing that a long time ago.
I feel like you may have saw a picture.
No, 100%.
Specific one?
100% saw that article years ago. You're only thinking it's new because Joe Rogan said something about it.
Yeah.
That's not new.
No,
I saw that years ago. I saw that years ago.
It was all over
I'll open it up.
It was over the internet, son. It wasn't just on Joe Rogan. It was on
Tribe found.
It was in my Facebook feed.
This picture's old. I saw these a long time ago.
I feel like that's such
an
ambiguous picture of like just people standing in the woods.
No, because they're red. I remember.
There's lots of people.
This photo was taken in 2008.
Was it?
Yeah, it's 2008, man. I mean, maybe they developed more information in the grand scheme of things. That is still relatively new, but that's old news. I remember seeing that years ago.
That's crazy.
It's crazy. It's crazy that we have all these fucking retarded problems. Like, we've got problems with language, like saying retarded, and we've got problems with, like, whatever, just, like, semantics, and we have all these first world problems, right? But then there's, like, literally entire civilizations and villages that there's at least an entire, like, civilization in the Amazon or Brazil or whatever. They don't know what the fuck's going on. They don't know what a cell phone is. They don't know what anything is.
I wonder if there's anything like that in the Congo.
Probably.
Congo seems a little bit more dangerous. I think there's more monkeys in the Congo. I think that's where, like, the silverbacks are.
Really? I don't know.
The Congo strikes me as a place where they're but there's bigger megafauna. Like
yeah, there's bigger animals in
Amazon
Africa,
seems like there's like a lot of smaller animals.
Smaller species, yeah.
Smaller species, yeah. And I don't know, maybe it's just crazy to pick because of how Africa is. Because of the way Africa is, you have lions, you have all of the biggest mammals pretty much in the world are all on the continent.
I think so, yeah.
Like,
what's in Russia?
Tigers. You got tigers.
Siberian tigers, yeah.
Yeah, tigers. You got elephants.
What else in Russia?
Well, when you go to the eastern side,
more towards China.
Yeah, more towards China. You probably have some elephants. You have jungle elephants
true.
and shit. You have bears.
Because, like, when I think of Russia,
you have fucking bears. It's like it's a lot more
North a huge
American.
ice field.
Yeah, that's only the northern part, though.
Yeah.
I mean, like, and that's like in the Siberian side. I mean, like, they have a lot of animals, but
I wonder what's going
like,
on in the middle of Russia in the ice patch. Is it wolves or what?
Yeah, they have animals. There's crazy fucking animals that live out there. Huh. I know. I mean, like, Africa is just like so fucking crazy. It's crazy that, like, most of, like, the animals in the, like, you can find almost every animal in the world, like, in Africa.
Yeah.
You can I think there's deer. There's deer in Africa. I think the only thing they really don't have is, like, do they have bears?
In Africa?
Are there bears in Africa?
Not that I know of.
I mean, I know there is in the Jungle Book.
They've got, don't they have red pandas?
Do they have pandas?
Red pandas, I think so.
I know they have penguins. They have fucking penguins.
The southern tip?
Yep, southern tip. They have penguins.
Yeah.
And they have zebras.
Animals are crazy, man. It's so crazy how many species of animals that exist. And, like, we're literally constantly finding new ones. Yeah. That's fucking crazy. For how populated we are, we're still constantly finding new stuff. I got clickbaited yesterday by the title of the clickbait was, "Yep, we found dragons." And, like, the little picture looked like a dragon. And I was like, oh, fuck, dude. We found dragons. And so I clicked it, dude. I totally was just like, fuck yeah. Dragons. It's a sea dragon. Looks like a seahorse. They found like a new one. Yeah. It's red.
It's a new one.
It's like really red. It's never been captured before. And it's crazy because it although it is very small, it's never been captured before. It's like bright red.
Yeah.
You think that we would see it.
It's probably
because nothing else in the bottom of the ocean is bright red.
Fucking elusive, man.
Yeah.
It's giving them the shake.
And it looks gnarly. You've seen it. It's gnarly. Yeah, we're constantly finding new stuff.
Well, that's the crazy thing is that there is only 1% of the ocean bottom floor explored.
Some crazy number, yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, we know more about the moon than we do the oceans.
Yeah.
And that's insane because, like, what the fuck lives down there? Like, what really lives down at the depths of, like...
No one knows, man.
Nobody knows if there... I mean, like, there's giant squids. We've proven that.
Of course,
like,
yeah.
What else lives down there?
Well, it is so crazy that we talked about this last week's podcast, briefly, and I'm amazed at the fact that we haven't explored way more of the bottom of the ocean. Because to be able to make spaceships to go out to outer space and to deal with pressure, like, well, I guess opposite, like anti-pressure of the outer space, to build a craft to be able to do that, but not be able to build a craft that can go to the bottom of the ocean.
Not a manned one.
Yeah. But even so, like, we can't build an articulate enough unmanned, like, ship to take, like, great footage and just, like, constantly be searching the bottom of the ocean.
No,
I find it's crazy that we haven't really done that. You know, but we're more into going into space because, yeah, it is. I don't know if it's 1%, but it's some crazy low percentage of the ocean that we know about, and it's crazy. Like, the lower they get and the deeper we get, that we explore the ocean and we become familiar with the ocean, we're finding more and more bioluminescent fish and animals.
Yeah.
That's insane, dude.
Yeah.
Like, there's just so many fish species, and I don't know, turtle species and squid species and jellyfish that they keep finding that they light up, dude. They're like little lamps.
That's not the crazy.
That's crazy, dude. Come on.
I think it's a little crazy.
They look not real.
What is crazier is that these vents, these exhaust vents that are at the bottom of the ocean, where you have like the pressure is crazy as shit, and then you have like 1,000-degree heat coming out of the vents, and then next to it is like negative 150 degrees Fahrenheit. And you have things that live down there in the extremophiles. I think that's crazy. That's crazy that something would... Oh, you're looking at like the vampire squid?
Yeah, so this is like a colossal bioluminescent squid. Let me put it up on screen. For those of you guys listening and not watching, you can see this on YouTube.
Describe what that looks like.
But it's crazy because they keep finding all these bioluminescent fish and squids and stuff, and a lot of them, like this fish, for instance, I think this is called the ghost fish or something.
You have to describe what it looks like, Sean.
I am, Matthew. What it looks like, it's like a normal fish or squid, but then it's got like little dots of like bright white light all on it, like on its skeletal structure. It's the fucking craziest thing ever. Or you've got like a lot of animals like this. We're looking at a squid that... it's like invisible, like its skin is invisible and its organs are glowing. It's fucking crazy. And the further they get, down below into the ocean, and the more we discover down there, the more we find stuff like that. It looks like fucking CGI. It doesn't look real. It looks man-made.
I feel like it's only a matter of time before we start living like we have people living like Waterworld and shit. Like we're living on the ocean.
Kevin Costner movie?
Yeah, we're like living on the water and stuff.
Yeah.
I know that there's like some Norwegian or one of those countries over there where they're
one of those countries over there.
I forgot what it's called. I think it's called a seascape.
Yeah, you were talking about this.
Yeah, not on podcast though.
You talked about this a long time ago.
Yeah, where they're building like these. They're trying to build these pods that can live in high seas.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh, that's crazy. Like, why would you want to live out there?
Man.
The thing is, they wouldn't be anchored. Like, they're not anchored to anything, so they'd float. So, like, even if there was like big ass waves, it'd be like the wave would come and like it'd shift around like this.
Yeah.
So like you would always be good. Like it'd be so big that like an actual wave wouldn't do anything for it.
Right.
The thing is, it's super expensive building those kind of structures, and they should be. I mean, when I found out about it was a couple of years ago. So like. They should already be in the process of doing it.
Yeah.
Or like in shallow seas, it might be able to work. The thing is, it'd be in these seascapes. They have no laws. They're in international water. Nobody owns it. They would literally be able to run it however they felt like. And the pods themselves would be. They'd have the capability of detaching to go to another seascape community.
Yeah.
So, like, let's say it gives the government of your seascape or, like, the leadership of your seascape to, like, be incentivized to do good things, like, or to have the best. So, like, every community wants one up to have more seascapes. So, if you're a shithead and you're running it like a Fortune 500 company and you're fucking a little dude, like they'll just pull out and go to a different community. I mean, you can kind of do that now, but like you like it's so much hard. Like you can't just take your house to a different country and just like go there. But in here, you're just literally moving your boat, moving your little seascape thing to another community. It's better. And like they'd be recycling ocean garbage while they're doing it. They'd have like algae farms, which would help. I think it helps with the acidity in the ocean to take it down. Okay. Algae eats things. So you'd have like all these kind of like positive benefits from it, and then they'd be able to trade.
Interesting.
And then what they hope would happen was that eventually it would expand to land communities, land governments, seeing how it works. That like if it started working so well in the ocean and it was like feasible, people could afford it. And you have people moving off land to the sea, to an ocean.
It's fucking crazy.
The government would be like, well, shit, we got to do something to keep our people here.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, what, 75% of the world is covered in water?
Something like that, yeah. Most of it.
So, if you're talking about 75% of, like, all of the surface of the earth is livable, if they make it livable, that's you can house everybody.
There'd be a huge margin of unlivability because of shallow waters and stuff. It's not like they would convert every inch of water on the planet to livable space.
No. That's not what I'm saying.
You'd have you'd have 70% of the ocean space that you could live on in these basically floating islands, cities. But I still think it's.
They can move out of the way of hurricanes too.
The thing is, I think it's more efficient to just populate the mainlands. Because you can make the argument flooding's happening in a lot of the coasts, and we're what's your arguments? We're running out of resources on the mainland. There's a lot of benefits to this island, moving people to an island essentially would allow the mainlands to, if we had less population, allow them to kind of regrow their megafauna and regrow their resources and give them time to kind of repair themselves over time. So there's that aspect, but you'd have to move a lot of people to the ocean. I don't think
it's a gradual thing. You can't think of it as an extreme change where you just have an entire country move.
It is interesting.
It would be a small thing where you have a couple hundred people, a couple thousand people here, a couple thousand people, and then over time you have these full thriving communities. And it's let's say a disaster started to happen, and you're like, shit, a hurricane's coming. They can fucking move the entire thing somewhere safe until the hurricane's
but
done.
what if the hurricane develops too close to move far enough?
That's that's
you wipe out literally the entire island. You're
maybe,
done.
but
you knock it over.
that's what they're thinking. That is one of their concerns. That's if everything goes right and it's feasible. Obviously, there's probably going to be problems regardless of whatever you do.
Yeah.
If a hurricane comes, it might fuck you up. But if you're in high seas, you might just be safe. Your pod might just
It's true. I'd be interested. I think it's very interesting. I think that's fucking badass. I would not be opposed to moving on to one of those if it did exist.
If climate change keeps heading the way it's going, and a lot of the world is just underwater, you ain't got a choice.
I wonder if the Earth will ever get to a point, hypothetically, if we never slowed down climate change, and all the ice caps melted. 100% of them. I wonder how much of the Earth, the mainlands, would be underwater. How high would the water go? Would it basically just be tips of mountains?
How far inland? No.
Yeah, how much water is there even?
It's happened before. It would, I think, from what reports say, the United States, almost all the states I think they said up to Michigan, roughly, would be safe. I think we would be good, even if the polar ice caps
melted. It would just
melted.
be the East Coast.
It would be the East Coast,
What about the West Coast?
The West Coast. So, they would probably go to the Rockies.
Because
the whole, if you're in the Midwest, you're good. But, at the same time, now you have more extreme weather. So you're going to have, probably tornadoes and stuff like that.
Because hypothetically, if we don't factor in extreme weather, because obviously if all the ice caps melt, it would be way, way, way hotter, unbearably hot in the summer, essentially. And unbearably frozen in the winter. It would just be fucked up. Not taking that into account, if we had max water level basically on Earth, if it was high enough where pretty much all the mainland was underwater, but only by 10 feet, whatever, you still couldn't you couldn't really live on that. You can't build a city, a floating city with when you're in shallow ass water of 10 feet, you know what I'm saying? So even if we were all underwater, living on the water is not really it wouldn't be possible to live on the water over all the mainland, because all the mainland would probably barely be underwater, right?
Yeah, probably.
Because you can't, because I gotta imagine for something to be as large as a city, to be I don't know, a couple miles wide every which way, however you'd want it, if it would be a perfect circle, that sounds really futuristic, or if it would be whatever. If it's floating, it's going to have a lot of mass underneath. It's going to have to have a mile of fucking whatever.
Not a mile,
but it would have to be very buoyant,
think of a buoy,
so that we don't fucking tip over. So it's going to have to be very advanced and large underneath. So you can't just sit on top of a pond, essentially, because there's no room for it underneath. You know what I'm saying?
I think it. Yeah.
So we couldn't really populate above like a mainland that was like just underwater.
You'd be out to sea. I mean, why would you
Yeah.
need to be in?
But I don't think we
You
can
wouldn't-
move everyone out to sea. I don't think there's enough space.
Not everybody's gonna make it,
Yeah,
Sean.
that's true. That's
and
true.
a climate change, not everybody's gonna
That's
make it.
true.
Like when you look at what happened about 10 to 12,000 years ago, when there was a big wipeout of a lot of things.
Yeah.
Graham Hancock and Randall Carlson think it's a comet that hit. We talked about
it last episode.
That wiped out almost everybody, almost everything. I mean, with the extreme climate change, you're going to see a more gradual decrease in civilization.
Yeah.
Maybe. We don't know. Unless we can stop it. But let's say it just keeps accelerating. You will have a population that shrinks in size for whatever reason. I mean, a lot of the reason would probably be panic. Like, people wouldn't be having kids because you'd be like, fuck, you got to take care of it's like a zombie apocalypse. Like, you don't want to have a kid because that's just harder to like survive off of.
Yeah.
So you'd probably have a lot more people that just don't do that, and then that would just you'd have a gradual decrease more than likely. And if you had to live out in the sea, you'd have these seascape communities that would already be thriving. It might not work, but I think the possibility of that working compared to like a manned Mars mission, like actually habitating Mars, it's probably more feasible that it would work in the sea than it
more feasible. And also I think the biggest factor there would be the commerce, because like you were saying, it's advantageous to move. You can move your entire civilization, entire island or whatever, to go trade stuff with other islands, and like there's incentive for people on the mainland to want people to move back to the mainland. So I think commerce would be affected in a positive way,
Science.
which is way more valuable than us going to Mars and trying to set up a base. So
science would evolve, because like there's no incentive to like optimize medicine right now because big pharma, they're able to control it. When you say, all right, you have no more power and it's all people governed science, and by that I mean it's like you have people that have this revolutionary science and medicine, but if it works, like let's say everybody was healthy and nobody needed medicine anymore, well, nobody makes money. So like there's no incentive to do that. But if you have and so in doing so and not having an incentive to like make everybody healthy, if something comes along that can do that, you kind of start outlawing it. I mean, that's what you see with marijuana a little bit different situation, but you kind of get the picture.
Of course.
And so if you have a community that says you can do whatever you want, there are no laws. Like there's nobody to say you can't do it, so you can do it under a safe environment. People want it. People are willing to help you. And if it works, if it starts working, and you see these like this community, like let's say you have this seascape community, and they figure out the cure to cancer and most diseases because they've been able to revolutionize medicine in a way that has never been done before because there's no laws and restrictions. They're able to do it, and you find out it like. You're like, oh, people are living out there and they're healthy and like
you want to go out there.
You're like, oh fuck, I'll just go out there and like you go out there just to get cured, and then you're like, well shit, these people love it out here, and like next thing you know, you might be one of those people. You get enough of those people that just like it's what's not to like. I mean, there's gonna be problems along the way, like rogue, like pirates and shit that come through.
Dude, yeah, I'd be a cityscape pirate, dude. I would just fucking jump from city to city across the ocean.
But they might move. They might just like, all right, everybody, we're leaving. Like, it would be crazy to see like giant algae farms and stuff. You have algae farmers. Like, I'm telling you, it's like Waterworld, man. You got like Kevin Costner.
That's definitely cool. I think
it's a cool idea.
I don't want to say it's an inevitability. Because who knows how long it would take to develop, but it's definitely, I think it's a good way to go for populations to expand, because if you look at like the population issue we have now in the world, the mainland's becoming insanely populated, and so we got all these cities with these gigantic towers just crammed full of people in these tiny apartments. It's because we don't have enough space to house everyone. So eventually you have to assume that if we grow to be like 10 billion people, we're gonna have to expand, and so there's so much surface space that's not being used. I guess like it would make total sense to move people onto the water because we're not utilizing whatever it is 70% of the surface area of the Earth.
Yeah.
So I guess that is probably a realistic future. Being a water world in a way, like having
clean
a lot
energy
of
too. All of your energy would be
sense.
run off of solar power more than likely.
And who knows if we end up with like ships, like if instead, and this is really futuristic, but if our everyday transportation was more mobile in the way that it was like it didn't need like a cement road.
We're going mobile.
Yeah, we can go mobile. If we all had flying cars, essentially, if we had pods that were in the air, and if we were able to travel over the water, it would make total sense to just build cities on the water. Because there's nothing. The only reason we're not on the water now is because the traversing is difficult.
Imagine if Elon Musk gets behind this.
Yeah. Well, I think he's more concerned with Mars.
I know, but like, I just hope that fails and he just gets into this.
I think he's gonna do the Mars thing to his death. That's like his thing.
He's so young too, which is crazy.
He's young.
He's got a.
Is he 30, 35 tops?
Yeah.
It's pretty young. I think Mars will be his life mission. He's got that's the thing too, is he's got multiple things going on, but they're all like life mission type stuff.
Yeah.
Like he's got the energy crisis he's trying to help fix, and then he's got the Mars thing that he wants to do.
He's got a planet that he's trying to run.
Yeah. It's not that he's trying to run it. I don't know.
If you just call the planet Elon, that's a pretty solid planet name.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
Planet Elon.
Planet
Dude,
Elon.
that's a badass name.
I'm just saying. It sounds like a Star Wars fucking planet.
I guarantee if they build a city there, it's gonna be like Elon Musk Square.
It's not gonna be a
so
square.
Many
it's just gonna be. He's gonna name the planet Elon.
He's not gonna rename the planet. That's not how
what
it
he's
works.
gonna do is he's gonna send them with like missiles and stuff. So when when any other country tries to go there, he's like, you need permission.
It's not
Say
how it
the
works.
magic password.
Fucking Elon Musk. He's got like a throne made of Martian bones, and
there's just Elon right there. They have like statues.
he creates a language. I mean, hey, dude, he's a smart guy. Maybe
it just beeps and boops.
It's possible.
Beep, boop, boop, beep, boop. They talk robot and shit.
Well, hey, we've been talking for 2 hours already. 2 hours and 5 minutes. I guess we should wrap it up.
You don't like going over 2 hours, do you?
No, you want to keep it a little shorter.
You
Plus, I'm hungry.
No.
I owe you lunch as well.
Little baby boy needs to eat.
I haven't eaten today. You caught me sleeping. I don't know. It was a good one. If any of you guys are watching Gold Digger, thanks for the follows. All the Twitch followers.
Hey, Gold Digger, feel free to ask questions. Like that's why we're on Twitch. We want interactions with people.
He was talking about I think we were talking about those pictures of bioluminescent fish, and he was saying he doesn't, it's not necessarily true. How do we trust them so much? 'Cause they're just pictures. He's a conspiracy theorist is what he is. I think everybody has a little bit of conspiracy theorist.
I wonder if he believes if we actually went to the moon.
Does he even believe that we're live right now? Who knows?
Are we?
Are we even here? I don't know, man. Yeah, if you guys, anyone even listening to this on SoundCloud and iTunes, you can always catch us on Twitch every week. It's awesome to be able to answer questions and talk to people. I think that's really what we're going for here. I was thinking about that's probably the only thing that makes our podcast interesting at all is that you can literally interact with us while we.
Yeah, if we say something stupid or wrong, or you feel that you need to disagree with us, you can say it.
It's probably my favorite part.
We're providing the platform for you to be able to say, hey, we're fucking stupid.
Yeah, Matt and Sean for president.
Yeah,
we're doing good. But if you're listening, don't be afraid to check us out on Twitch and YouTube. If you're doing the opposite, don't be afraid to check us out on iTunes. We got a few good iTunes reviews, so thank you guys for that if you're listening now, and don't be afraid to, give us a review. If you think, what we're saying is at all interesting or you agree with our opinions. And if you don't agree with our opinions, like Matt said, come tell us we're fucking wrong. Yeah. But we're done. Today's done. This is the end of the episode.
Click that music. Get that outro
Matt,
music.
What should we get for lunch, Matt?
What should we get for lunch?
Yeah.
I don't know. You're paying. If it was really.
I'm paying. Then we're getting McChickens. It's McChickens for sure.
I want steak. I want some fucking steak. I want to go get some lobster tail. I know you only got Taco Bell, but if I get the choice, I don't really want McChicken though. Let's go to Detroit. Let's go downtown. Let's go get something. Let's go get some conies. That's cheap.
Hold on, I'm trying to outro this.